You are about to enter a zone like no other. A zone which is uncensored and unfiltered. Starring Noel Glynn with Cheryl Glynn. Also starring Teddy the Terrier. You are watching the official Tardis zone. Prepare yourselves. This will be a trip of a lifetime.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Tardis Zone Live, the review of The Haunting of Villa Diodate, or whatever the crap the episode is called. We will get our panelists on board pretty soon, but I really don't know what to say anymore. But I wasn't impressed. Chibnall is just he's just a copycat. There's nothing original to anything that he does. I'm not, at this stage now, I'm not surprised. This episode is actually being praised. It actually doesn't surprise me anymore. These fans clearly don't know what good Doctor Who is, so they'll praise anything. Apparently, BBC America. The Twitter account has been taken down briefly because apparently they gave the whole ending away an hour before the episode aired, which made no difference. And I was reading the comments actually when someone put that up, and some of the comments were saying, I took the bin out earlier and that was more interesting. I would agree. I'm being honest. This was supposed to be scary, remember? We were told that this was going to scare the crap out of us. I don't know if the writers, I think it was actually unintentional, but these writers, it basically felt a bit like a comedy. Unintentionally, there was a few parts that made me laugh, but again, I don't think they were actually supposed to make me laugh, but they did. Cheryl was laughing all the way through the episode as well. I'm just getting me panel together, guys. There we go. So that's me last guest. Right, so let's see if we've got any of my guests, and we'll start introducing and get this panel on the way. And we do. Here is my first guest. So everybody, as you know, we have 3 regular panelists. So the first of those tonight is the rabbi from another planet, and looks like he got a haircut. Hello.
I did indeed. This is my my quarterly haircut, so I get it. I get it shorn quite tight. So I don't have to do
You're looking well, man. Have to say, you're looking well. We're just waiting on the rest of the guests. I've sent the rest of the guests the link. The links. I should have actually probably told them every time.
Maybe they just fell asleep because it's so insanely boring. Oh my god! That's what this Doctor Who has become. It's not offensive. It's not woke. It's not badly written. It's just boring. It's boring.
I know, and then there's people praising this episode. Right, our 2 other regular panelists. Obviously, one of them has hit the beer. Don't blame her. I'm going to have a few myself. Blue Bonahuvian, welcome to the panel.
Oh, hey, guys.
No, well, there we go. Welcome to the panel. Hello.
Hey.
How are you?
I was bored. I was so bored. I wanted to take a page out of Rabbi's book and fall asleep.
Yeah.
Well, thankfully it was a shorter episode, so I managed to stay awake. But I was so happy it was 45 minutes.
Right, it seemed like 2 hours to me.
I know.
It was pretty slow. It was pretty slow. I've sent the link. Hold on. One more guest. Oh, there he is. Right. Okay. And we've got our other regular panelists. We've got Jason Scott. Welcome, Jason. Hold on. I don't know why this is going very slow tonight. Nothing's going right for me tonight.
I'm here. You just can't see me. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. There's something going on with me computer all of a sudden. There we go. There he is.
Hello.
I don't know what's happening in my computer. It's been acting up. And as you know, we do always have a guest panelist. And this week's guest panelist is Gorminator. And hopefully now I can actually get him in the stream without
Hello, man.
Hello.
messing up. Oh,
How's it going?
is he there? Is he there for you? Because he's not
he's
there.
here,
Oh,
he's
there he is. Right, everything
Hello.
just seems to
Alright,
be a
guy.
little bit low on my end. And already we've got a $2.99 Australian super chat by LWG. Thank you all for watching it, so I don't have to. Right, right. Okay. I just can't be bothered doing a synopsis. So does anybody here want to do it this week? Because I'm being honest with you, I've just lost all patience with this show right now.
Yeah, I'll do it if nobody else wants to.
Go ahead, Rabbi.
Okay, so we have a cold opening back this week. I'm thinking every week there's a cold opening. This is a Pete Matigue episode, and this is where Chibnall was holding out. So it starts off. It's in Lake, wherever it was. I don't know.
Geneva. It was Geneva, wasn't it? In 1816. I think it was, yeah.
And we've got a very, very PG-13 friendly Byron, Mary Shelley, and friends having they're supposed to be having a debauched party with like opium and stuff, and it's just like it was children's TV. And they say, "Oh, let's read a horror story." Somebody knocks at the door, and obviously it's the doctor. And they knock at the door again, and obviously it's the doctor. And they slap that out for like a few minutes, and then finally they open the door, and everybody screams, and that's the image they had from the thumbnail for coming next week. Then we're straight into the awful titles, and then the pathetic group of the Doctor and Fam begs to come in. They try and use a psychic paper, but of course the Doctor screws it up, and it doesn't work because she's awful. And then she talks about how great Byron and Shelley and Mary Shelley is, and they say, and they do exactly the same joke as the Shakespeare Code when they introduce Shakespeare. They say, they're such great writers, and open up and they're rolling on the floor having a laugh playing Twister. So then we have this really cringy Regency dance scene where, the Doctor dances as well as she runs. And it just goes on forever. The Doctor's... and then the Doctor's always saying, like, nobody mentioned Frankenstein. Keep quiet. We don't want to make them mess up history. And then she goes, let's write horror stories. And she's trying to hint. What the hell? Like, she won't even follow her own freaking rule.
Yeah, even Ryan pointed that she broke her own rule.
Oh, God, it's so annoying. So then the most exciting thing happens in the episode, and Graham needs to go pee. That goes on for about 25 minutes. He's walking around trying to find a toilet. Okay? While he's doing that, there's a spider thing that crawls in from outside. And then Graham's still looking for the... and then there's some lightning, and we see a ghostly girl and a maid in lightning. Yaz is chatting with Mary Shelley. I assume it was Mary Shelley, and who's trying to break into Byron's study to find out letters to see how she really feels about him. And then Yaz and Mary Shelley talking. It's just a boring crap talky scene. And then it seems that Yaz is. Did we have Yaz literally shipping for the Doctor this week? In that scene, it seemed like it to me. Yeah. The spider things are still on the wall. The Doctor and Byron have a bit of a chat. Then there's this guy, Dr. Badori, who can't sleep, and then he has a duel with Ryan. They're all sensing something wrong's going on. The spider creature comes in, tries to strangle Ryan, is shot by the butler, not Ryan, the spider thing. The Doctor scans the spider thing and says, it's all human, and I don't understand it at all. Because of course she doesn't, because she's an idiot. And then they go to Byron's war collection. They find a box of a 15th century soldier's bones, and both his hands are missing. Means there's another spider out there somewhere. Then Graham is getting Dr. Polidori, whoever the hell he is, to have a nap instead of dueling Ryan. And there's ghosts there again. And then everything goes like weird in Castrovalva, and they're in this like looping house. They can't get out. Baby's crying. They're trying to get to the baby. Dr. Badori walks up, and he walks out zombie-like, and that's never explained. Everybody's trapped, and then the Dr. Badori walks through the wall. Again, that's never explained. Was he the Cyberman? What the hell? I have no idea what's going on with that.
No, it was because he was asleep, and then he didn't realize. He was. I guess he was walking. He was already asleep.
But how does that? Okay, I've slept a lot of times. I don't think you can walk through walls like on the X-Men.
Yeah, I know, but this is a Chibnall's. I guess his protege that's got 4 writing credits.
Can I just say something? There's a troll. There's a troll in the chat. Now I don't know if this troll is aware of what happened a couple of days ago in the UK. TV presenter Caroline Flack committed suicide and killed herself because of idiots. Because of idiots like you. Now, you trolls, this is going to tip the people in Britain over the edge anyway, and it already has. People like you are going to be found, and you are going to be charged with some sort of crime. What you are doing is disgusting, and you ought to be ashamed of yourselves. And after what's just happened as well, the fact that you have no decency, and you're coming on and saying shit like that. Right, if you have any proof of any of the stuff that you're saying anyway, present it. If not, shut the fuck up, get out of my live chat, and I don't want to see you here again. Next time, I will track you down me bloody self. I don't care if this stream gets taken down. I'm going to tell you now, I will track you down myself. I will hunt you down, and I'll drag you out of your house and kick the shit out of you. Then we'll see what you'll be saying then after that. Right? I'm fucking sick of this. People are dying because of people like you. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. Now get out of this chat. And moderators, just make sure as soon as you see anything like that you take it out straight away. I don't want to see any of that in the chat anymore. Go ahead anyway, guys. Sorry.
All right, what was I up to? So they're thinking then they look out the window, they see a light in the distance as either a figure. I thought it might be a TARDIS at one point. They capture the hand. It's crawling around in a glass jar. That was pretty good. I like that special effect. Then the doctor somehow works out that the bad weather and the weird shifting happens because there's a time traveler trying to break through, and the time traveler is the lone Cyberman. God, they used the line. It's so terrible because they were made into Cybermen without consent. Yeah, that was subtle.
Can I say something actually about that? See that Cyberman scene? I was just thinking though, that scene wouldn't have had the same impact if the Captain Jack Harkness shoe-in cameo hadn't happened. This is why I believe that actually happened, because when it came to that scene, if we hadn't had that Captain Jack saying that to the companions, beware of the lone Cyberman, don't give the lone Cyberman what he wants, right? And then that scene happened in this episode tonight. We wouldn't have known, you know what I mean? We would have been sitting there, what's going on here? We wouldn't have known because there's no story arc. Remember, this thing was actually, this thing was shot and put into the series. So it just goes to show you how badly written this actual show actually is. It's not actually great.
It is shockingly bad. I can't believe how much money is put into this crap. The Cyberman wasn't Nicholas Briggs's voice. There was just some. So the Cyberman is super emotional for some insane reason. You know, it's like I just don't know what they're thinking with that. So the Cyberman's looking for stalking the baby, but he lets the baby live. And then there's like you can see the half of the face of the Cyberman for some reason. And again, I think they're doing him like he's a cyber misogynist. You know, because he's like he's like wants to choke women, or so, I don't know. I just wrote these down in my notes. I have to see when I go over again.
It was just to coincide with the whole Mary Shelley thing. This is where she got the idea. Blah blah blah.
Yeah,
it's never been done before in Doctor Who. Like they haven't tried to make that connection with some Doctor Who episodes. I mean,
well, this is very similar to the Big Finish story from 2011. Was it which had Mary Shelley in it and the Cyberman that wasn't fully made. It was. I hope they explain that next week. It's just so stupid. For some reason, Graham goes down to the cellar with a couple of other people. They don't explain why or what they're doing there. The Cyberman recharges himself with lightning, and now he's recharged. And the Doctor tells everybody to hide. That's a freaking plan, really? Oh my God, she's so useless. The Cyberman is able to teleport in. but the house has walked away around him. And it turns out, that James Shelley is in the basement, and he's been infected by some cyber goo, so he becomes a Cyberium, which is what the Cyberman is looking for. And oh god, what else goes on? The Cyberman seems to be talked down by Mary Shelley, and yeah, he's going, trying to connect with his memories, and then he turns super evil. And that causes the Doctor sucks in the Cyberium, and now she's got it in her. But then the Cyberman turns evil, so she decides to give the Cyberium to him, so he can go and rebuild cyber armies in the future and destroy the universe. And now they're going to go. And there's 10 minutes to go. I thought it was 10 minutes to go. Then there's a yay feminism movement when Mary Shelley, I think it's Mary Shelley, dumps Byron. Everybody says goodbye. Graham mentions the plot holes, and they don't answer the plot holes. Graham says, well, who were the ghosts? And the Doctor's like, it was exactly like Curse of the Fatal Death, the spoof by Moffat years ago, that they go, I'll explain later, which of course they won't. The Doctor can't answer, and she tries to drop them off before she goes into the cyber war zone, and they say, no, we're going with her. And we end on this really boring literature recital by Byron, which goes on for too long, as did the synopsis, and thank God it's over. And only 2 weeks to go. Oh,
sorry, everybody is telling me that one of the trolls comments is up on the screen. I can't see anything right now. My screen
it was up, but it's not on there anymore.
Yeah,
it's frozen. I didn't even mean to put it up in the first place. My screen's just frozen for some weird reason. I think when I use this green screen, it's affecting.
It will.
Yeah. So
it's not there. It's gone.
It should be down now, is it?
Yeah, it's gone. It's just frozen. It's just frozen on your side.
Grant. Right, Jason. Nice to hear your voice finally. What did you think?
This was a big stinking pile of shit. I was really absolutely.
Someone said it. Thank you.
Honestly, I mean, I watch. I can't tell you. I mean, it's between Orphan 55 and this one. This one is so bad. It's because
this is getting praised, by the way, Jason. I just want to let you know, right, that I was actually looking at the comments as well. Right, there's people actually praising this episode.
Right, there's something wrong. What's something really wrong. I mean, honestly, it's like, I don't know. It seemed like that this was just such a mishmash of things that were so thrown together that I mean, I honestly just at some point didn't even care what the hell was going on. I just know there was a bunch of people are freaked out. The house is causing them to run around in loops, and you don't know half of the time what the hell is the reason why this stuff is happening, and they don't really give you any clues. And frankly, I just didn't really give a shit. And by the end of it, I was just really wiping my brow, thinking, "Thank God this piece of crap is done." Yep. Even the Cyberman with the half face missing, all that.
Yeah,
come on. I mean,
that looked pathetic as well. And I didn't. They're saying on IMDb that it's Nicholas Briggs' voice. No, it's not Nicholas Briggs' voice. Yeah. This is someone else's voice. It's definitely someone else's voice. It doesn't even talk like a Cyberman.
Yeah, because they wanted to, like I said, they wanted to have Mary Shelley and coincide. That's why she wrote, Frankenstein, and with the whole lightning thing. It was like, it's just so tired. I mean, it's been done before. Can we do something a little bit more original? He doesn't. Him and his team don't have anything original because he gets these people that have like 3 or 4 credits to their name that's not even sci-fi related.
Yeah, yep. Spot on. True. Spot on. Yeah. I just don't know what to be saying anymore. I mean, up until the Cyberman turned up, actually nothing happened. Again, a few interesting concepts, but we've kind of seen them before. I mean, the shifting house, the walking up the stairs, and then ending up down
I just watched that Castrovalva. Yeah, that's been done before.
It's been done before, and this whole, I just don't know. And then she gets the
Cyberman. Better. It's done before and better. Every occasion.
By the way, Jack, if you want to know what the lone Cyberman was looking for, so I think, if I'm correct in saying, Mary Shelley's husband finds something in a lake, and it's silver.
Yeah,
and it's like mercury. No, do you know what it is? Do you ever see Terminator 2, the liquid Terminator?
Yeah.
That's what it was, right? So it goes into his veins and his bloodstream and stuff, right? So he apparently is the guardian, and that's what the lone Cyberman is looking for. What he has inside his body. Yeah. Does anybody want to talk about where Jodie Whittaker's doctor actually mind rapes?
Oh yeah, Byron.
Mary, was it Byron or Mary Shelley's husband?
No, it's Mary Shelley's husband.
Oh, I got mixed up.
To confuse the silver crap. Silver crap.
Yeah, it's because, you know, she's got to know his story. I mean, you know, she can't just ask him and he retell it. She's got to, like, you know, touch his head and get all his memories.
Yeah. How many admins or how many moderate? I have to check on YouTube. Have we only got Daniel in the chat moderating? Because I need someone else. Is there anybody that can moderate?
I'll say hello in the chat and you can make me into a mod.
No problem. Because if there's only one mod, can't do it all themselves anyway. So, because we're trying to actually have a conversation here. Gorminator, I mean, what did you think of tonight's episode?
Pretty much agree with what everyone else has said. This was about 4 or 5 strong ideas smashed into the one episode, and it was, a Frankenstein episode. 4 or 5 strong ideas that they completely and utterly fucked up and made this utter nonsense tonight. Up until the Cyberman turned up, that was boring, lukewarm, incomprehensible garbage. Once the Cyberman turned up and actually gave 13 something to do, and they allowed her to be a wee bit bitchy and a wee bit snarky, it gave her personality and it became interesting. But up until then, it was awful. They had no clear idea of what they wanted to achieve tonight, other than to resolve the Captain Jack warning of the lone Cyberman. And I think that if they had less characters and 1 or 2 ideas had been dropped out of that, overall I think it would have been a stronger episode, because 3/4 of that tonight was hot garbage.
Yeah, sorry, just making a couple of people moderator there. Yeah, I mean, I have to agree with you on certain aspects of that. I mean, when she was serious again, and again, when Jodie Whittaker's doctor is serious, she seems to give a better performance. It's still not great, but it's better.
Yeah, it's better, but there's when they allow her to become kind of snarky, and especially when she pushes back in the farm, there's texture there. There is something there. It's kind of like a female version of Latter-day McCoy. Obviously, she's not strong enough to pull that off.
Yeah,
and writers don't know what they're doing. Because if they did and they allowed her to fully go really against the farm and give her some really snarky material, you'd have a much stronger doctor there. Much stronger.
Yeah, but I don't think she'd be able to carry it off.
No, I agree with you. I don't think she's got it at all.
Yeah, I think she's still poor, but I do agree with Gorminator. If you were to play Jodie Whittaker to her strengths, ride her to her strengths, then
make her a companion.
I don't think we'd be as critical as her. Be critical. We'd say yes, she's still not up to the job, but we wouldn't be, criticizing her every week, because she is bad every week. But let's be honest. I mean, she is getting shit scripts. Even Peter Capaldi. Let's be honest here.
She's a shit actress.
Yeah, but even Peter Capaldi couldn't save these scripts, though.
No, not at all.
Hey, I would watch Peter Capaldi over her with these scripts any freaking day of the week, man. Any day of the week.
Yeah, but what they're giving Whittaker to work with is terrible. It's not.
Oh yeah, it's terrible. Don't get me wrong. I agree 100%. It's terrible, absolutely horrid. But would I rather see Peter Capaldi over her any day of the week?
Yeah, I know. We agree.
Look, she just on her own, even when given a decent script. Like I said, go watch the play. Go watch Antigone with her and Christopher Eccleston on the stage. Eccleston just standing there destroys her. She tries her damnedest to put on a good performance. I'm just telling you, even with good material, even with good direction, she just doesn't have commanding presence on in a scene. So yeah, it's just bad. And then add on to that the fact that the script sucks.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the script's indicative of where the show is just now, though. It doesn't really know where it wants to go, and I don't think the show has got a clear idea of how to use its lead actor, or what direction it wants to take these companions in. They've thrown all these elements to the wall, nothing's really stuck, and now they're trying to turn this silk purse out of sow's ear, and it's not coming off for them at all.
I don't think they actually had a plan. I think it actually
Well,
is quite obvious.
Chibnall refuses to hire anybody with sci-fi background.
Yeah,
I mean, he completely refuses.
He's been forced to do this, right? So he's done the bare minimum. He's actually done the bare minimum. He just brought them back. Because if you actually look at his stories, there is no cohesion. Where is this whole Gallifrey destroyed arc that we were supposed? Where is it? We've heard nothing else except we've seen a few flashbacks or a few flash forwards or whatever the heck, right? That's all we've seen. Where's the rest of that?
I know.
Bring Captain Jack in to what? Sorry, Jason, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I knew right off that Chibnall didn't write this episode because it absolutely sucked. Like, it was horrible. And you know, I will say, I can kind of pick out a Chibnall episode because his episodes, they're not. If you look at the ones he's actually involved with the most, they're not like horrible. They're just. I mean, they have elements that are watchable, but then he has to throw in all this agenda crap. That's kind of his MO. Like Spyfall wasn't like horrid. The first episode wasn't horrid, and then what's the other one? Wasn't it Tesla's Night of Terror or something like that? Didn't he work on that one as well?
Yeah.
Okay, so all I'm saying is I knew right off that it's the ones where he has some dude come in or some woman come in, and in this case it was Maxine, whatever her name is.
Maxine Alderton.
Yeah, so she was working on this episode, and I knew it wasn't him.
She's rumored to be showrunner. She was
I know that, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's like he would have to basically rewrite the entire episode to make up for
he's
bullshit
not gonna pull him off it. That's too much work.
No, he can't. He's not capable of it doing it. You can already see, like, I mean, if you take, I'm telling you, you look at it from this point of view, you take that Captain Jack shoehorned cameo out, right? Would you have known anything leading up to this Lone Cyberman? No.
No,
so it was a last minute. This whole Lone Cyberman thing was obviously a last minute addition. It was obviously, there was a different ending, and I think the ending was originally supposed to be with the Daleks, but for some weird reason it's changed, and the Daleks have been pushed maybe to the special, and these Cybermen were just brought in. Because listen, this whole storyline to me just seems to be shoehorned in. I mean, if Captain Jack's cameo didn't happen, we'd know nothing about the Lone Cyberman. We'd know nothing.
Okay, and now they got so much to clean up in these last two episodes. They got to deal with this whole Cyberman stuff they pulled up.
Yeah, and the Gallifrey arc.
And the Gallifrey stuff, and the Timeless Child, and the Ruth Doctor.
Yeah.
You know, and Captain Jack.
And he said, he won't tie up all the loose ends at the end of this series. It'll be another series before it does. But even the rumors flying about now that the three companions are not going to be around. Now there's even rumor and speculation that that Chibnall and Whittaker mightn't even be around. So we don't know what's happening now. Nobody knows what's happening.
Apparently, we can only hope. We can only hope they won't be around. Oh my God!
In September. Nobody knows for sure. All these rumors are flying out everywhere now.
Right, that was such a non-announcement that we're going to be filming 10 months from now. That's not an announcement.
I know.
That's like we got to announce something because we've screwed up so massively that we got to like try and regain confidence. But that's not an announcement. If they're filming in September, then it's not going to air till late 2021 at the earliest. Probably they're going to skip 2021. Again, thank God they can skip as long as they like. I don't want to see this again.
Yeah, this is the. I mean, even the story itself. Let's look at the story. So even the story itself was pretty weak. And I don't know about yours, but as I said, me and Cheryl were laughing at some parts because it felt like sometimes it was an unintentional comedy. It was just some of the scenes were just so stupid that they actually ended up being funny unintentionally.
The tone was all over the place.
It was, wasn't it? There was no tone to it. And then you had this creepy music in the background that just seemed out of place. And I have to say that, I'm sorry, but to the new composer, but he's just not up to the job. I'm sorry, but his music is shit. It's the bottom line. I'm going to be out straight. It's shit.
I disagree there, mate. I actually think he's a good composer, but he's in the wrong show. It's what he's doing is not matched up to what we're seeing on the screen. His music's good, but it's good for a crime drama. It ain't good for a sci-fi show.
Right.
again, Chibnall's MO. I mean, he can't hire anyone with any kind of science fiction background, not even the composer. I mean, I don't understand why it's so hard for him. I don't understand why he's resistant to that.
Well, they tried to give Yaz a little bit more to do.
Yeah, and that's a mistake.
Yeah.
Don't even get me started. I mean, like, why are you? He just he's insistent on making Yaz intelligent. She's not.
Yeah.
Stop trying to make Yaz happen. She's not happening. She's bad. She's awful. It's like she can't command a scene. She's awful. I mean, I honestly feel like at this point in this episode, she bothered me more than the Doctor.
Yeah,
well, she was in it more than the Doctor, wasn't she?
Jodie Whittaker's performance this week wasn't as bad as most weeks, but in saying that again, that's still not saying much. I mean,
no.
I refuse to lower my standards, and there is some Doctor Who fans that have, and it's kind of pissing me off now. Why lower your standards? I'm sorry. People praising this episode saying it was great. It's not. It's not. It's boring for at least half an hour. And then the last 15 minutes, if it's even that, when we get the Cyberman in it, it actually is a little bit interesting. But then when the Cyberman opens his mouth, then it loses it for me.
I wasn't even interested when the Cyberman. I am so not interested in Doctor Who anymore.
And the Cyberman murdered a woman, like in cold blood as well. Choked the butler out, the housekeeper, whatever you call him, the butler, we'll just call him. Then the one that was looking after the baby, he chokes a woman out, breaks her neck, which was something. I suppose that was alright. That part was alright. But the Cyberman itself, I wasn't impressed with that design actually. Now I know it's not the one that we've seen that's coming on later on, but this design was I didn't like it. I didn't like it. We've seen a half-face Cyberman before. We've seen the half-face Cyberman before, and he's no originality. The man has no originality. Look, he went off, he bitched, right? He came back, he seen what they did, it wasn't good enough, and then he tried to rush all this. So this is what's happened. Then he tried to fix it all up himself, and you know what? If he had stayed for the whole lot, we probably would have got a much better series. He probably had learned the lessons from last year, but what happened was he bitched off because he obviously had disagreements. He came back then, he agreed to finish it off, but when he seen what he had then, he tried to make it better. That's why we got Captain Jack and all this other stuff in. He probably tried to fix this series, to be honest, but BBC knew it was a dead duck anyway, and that's why they threw it out in January, right? And
I don't think the BBC knew it was going to be as bad. I don't think they thought it would be as bad as it is. I didn't think the ratings would be as bad as they are.
I don't know, Rad Boy, because if you look at the way BBC America and BBC Doctor Who on Twitter have been promoting this, especially those accounts, they've been promoting this a lot, right? But BBC America has went one step further and actually leaked some of the plots to some of the episodes this year. Now, finally, I think I've been told they're not actually up on Twitter. So I don't know, maybe they've been taken down for a while.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. Like, these plots are so boring. Who cares?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can't spoil something that's just so freaking dull.
They're probably trying to make a big deal about it being spoiled so that people will actually watch the show.
Yeah. That sounds likely.
Look, the ratings are going down for last week anyway, right? When we see them Monday. Right, they're going down again. I thought they'd jump with this episode. They're not going to jump with this episode because if you take the Cyberman out of the equation, this episode was actually non-existent. It was boring, as everybody said. There was nothing of substance there, right?
Well, see,
Cyberman in, you get a little bit, but you don't get that much. It's still pretty bad. So the last two episodes now will be the decider where the ratings go. It's finished. It's finished. It's dead duck now.
Did they release the images of this Cyberman before the episode? Like, did they promote it or not in the UK?
I think you got the one of the farm kind of at the start of the episode for the kind of gate crash, but I don't think you saw the
you didn't see the half-face.
Right, so this episode will not be getting a bump. This episode's going. I mean, last one was 3.81. My guess is 3.6. That's the normal depreciation rate.
Yeah, I agree. I think
and if it's 3.6, then after a week they'll get a bump up to about 4.8.
They'll get another million, I say, million and a half. They normally does okay on catch up, but it's not doing as well as it used to.
No, it used to be getting under capacity. It would get between 2 and 3 million on catch up. Now it gets between 1 and 1.2 million. It's gone down significantly. It's gone down in every metric. This season will be the lowest rated average score. It'll have the lowest rated episodes. It's just a failure. It's just, and that's why I think the BBC, they thought it wouldn't be great. I think they thought it would stick around the 6 million level. They didn't expect it to fall as low as this.
This show really suffers from the same disease that Star Trek Picard suffers from. It just doesn't feel like the namesake. It doesn't have the feel. It doesn't feel like Doctor Who. This is why I say, we're reviewing a show that's really, honestly, it's not Doctor Who. It doesn't feel like Doctor Who. We're talking about people who don't understand Doctor Who, people who can't act Doctor Who. None of it's Doctor Who. We're sitting here reviewing this side, whatever it is. This is some kind of abortion. It's something that they've put out there with the name. They put all the trappings on it, and it doesn't have the DNA of Doctor Who. It just has a bunch of stuff. They dressed it up in they got a bunch of people to dress themselves up in the Doctor Who. They got a TARDIS out there. But they don't understand the first thing about how to make a real Doctor Who episode, and yet they're calling it Doctor Who, and they got everybody believing this is Doctor Who when really nobody feel. And the people who are watching this saying this is good, Jesus Christ. Even if this didn't have the Doctor Who name on it, it was just some episode that you're watching of some other show, it would suck. It would suck on its own merits. It sucks. It doesn't have any. The only thing that I enjoyed watching tonight about the show, the little bit of Graham when he was sitting there eating the food and commenting on.
Yeah, Graham's always adds a bit of light to it.
But outside of Graham,
I just see someone in the comments there saying it sounds belittling when I'm not belittling anybody. If you like this episode, fair enough, right? That's fair enough. I'm not belittling anybody by saying that. And there seems to be a couple of people tonight that seem to be a bit getting a bit too easily triggered.
We're giving our opinion, Noel. This is about us giving our opinion.
So what I will say is, if you don't like it, well, you know where the unsub button is. I really don't care anymore. If you're not strong enough to take other people's opinions, right? And you're not strong enough to like what I say.
They need to get off the internet.
Well, then stay out. Exactly. Stay out. I'm not dealing with this anymore. I'm not picking on anybody in the comments. If they did like this episode, fair play to you. But all I'm saying is, if you did, you're lowering your standards. All right. And I was actually giving out to the trolls and told them they had no business to be here. So maybe you're getting the two pieces of information actually mixed up there.
This is about us giving we're giving a review. All right. That's what a review is. You give your opinion. And my opinion is this show would suck even if it wasn't Doctor Who. That's my opinion. And if you don't agree with it, then find some other stream to watch. Just saying,
you're not criticising people that like the show. You're criticising something that you think's badly done. That's two separate things.
Right.
Exactly.
Well, I did say, look, I did say if you've seen this show and you think it's good as a Doctor Who, that's fine, great, good for you. In my opinion, this wouldn't hold a candle to a true Doctor Who episode. This wouldn't be a good show, like I said, even if it were its own franchise, something other than Doctor Who.
Exactly. Well, look, as I said, you have your opinion, David, there, and I have mine. So if you don't like what I say, you can leave. You know what I mean? But if you are going to be here, stop being a bitch. Okay, let's continue.
What did you think you were going to get when you came in? And it's something other than a review? That's what we're here for.
Yeah, look, honestly, we don't want to upset you. But it's just we really don't like this. I don't know what to tell you.
I think we're very passionate about this show, and we want it to be good.
Look, I find it hard to believe people who are watching this show actually think this was a great episode. I'm sorry. If you thought it was a great episode,
that's what
great.
I'm saying. I don't lower your standards. Look, we love Doctor Who. It's not that we don't hate Doctor. We just want to see it to be in the best version. By the way, BBC. And I'm actually thinking of doing a video on this. I haven't done one in a while, but BBC actually put out an article kind of having a go at fans, calling us all self-entitled.
I saw that.
Yeah, it's expected. It's expected.
It's a hit piece, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna do a video on that tomorrow because I'm gonna read out the art because I was reading a bit of it and it's very interesting what they're doing now. They're trying everything in their power now. The kind of we're self-entitled apparently.
Well, I expect nothing less from the BBC.
Well, in fairness, right, if it's self-entitled to want their characters to be respected and to be portrayed properly, then yes, you're right, we are.
Mm-hmm.
No, they don't want to take responsibility. They'll do anything so that they don't have to take responsibility for the shit that they're producing.
I don't want to fall out with anybody over Doctor Who. I fell out with loads of people over Doctor Who the last 2 years, right? I'm just sick and tired of falling out over this, right? If you like the fine, right? I don't, and I wish it was better, right? If you liked what you're saying, then that's fair enough, right? Fair enough. If you thought I was belittling you by saying anybody that liked this, then fair enough. Then I'm sorry I caused you offense, but to be honest with you, I'm not messing. You need to grow a set of balls because in life people have different opinions, and you're not gonna like what I say all the time, and I'm not gonna like what you say all the time, and that's just the way it is. Right,
David,
now,
David, why do you put in the comments what you like about the episode?
The midwife than watch Doctor Who right now, and that says everything.
I'd rather watch Country File.
That's it.
That's the incredible thing. Country File gets more viewers than Doctor Who.
I was watching Country File before Doctor Who. I'm getting into that big time. We had goat yoga tonight.
No! You know what? What I watched just before it started, I watched the weather. And everything was bad. It was like, we're going to get waves of rain and flooding, but then it's going to get worse. And then it was just awful. So I was just thinking they set me up for this episode of Doctor Who by showing you how terrible the weather and the world is in the rest of England.
But at least
and then you watch Doctor Who and you go, oh, it's not so bad.
Like there's a build-up, you know something bad's going to happen. So there's that tension that Doctor Who doesn't have right now.
Right, yeah, I'll try stop, Chris, you're right. I'll stop trying using F-bombs as well. All right, we'll try keep it clean. Chris is right. Right, we'll get back to what we were doing, right? I know, it does get very passionate on this channel, and that's what I like about it. We're all very highly strung right now because this Jason's probably sitting back and listening. They're all mad. They're all fucking crazy. And he's right, but when you're passionate about something like that, it does get heated. But you know what?
Hear me all the time.
You know what? At the end of the day, you're at the apologise, and I'm at the apologise. That's the way it should be anyway, right? When it gets heated, it's just when it gets personal, then that's when it goes wrong. But let's get back to this, right? Graham, yeah. I thought that was funny in trying to find a toilet when there was no toilets in that time. It was pre the dates they actually had toilets, but it was funny. And then when he comes into the room, your man, I was looking for the toilet, and then he points down to it, the bleeding, the jug or the basin on the ground. Oh, that nice one. But some of the dialogue, yeah. But by the way, I wanted to ask: is the creepy girl and the yoke? That wasn't explained. That was just brushed off.
No, that was deliberately not explained.
Oh, you're talking about the ghost when he's eating the food.
No, right. It was like, hey, don't have the ghost tie in.
The older woman and the girl, they were ghosts. Because remember, Graham says, that girl and that woman, they gave me the food. And he was going, was it ghosts? And she said something along the lines, well, it could have been or something. Because he was saying, you're going to explain that. How was that part of the plan? How was that part of the whole? Because they were actually asking, how was that part of the whole plot? Because that's what they do.
It was the creepiest bit of the whole episode.
Yeah.
That was the only thing that was good. Yeah, was those two. And I thought, we're going to have something here. But no, nothing ever came.
They should have kicked out the rest of the actors and just let Graham in the house, That'd have been more entertaining.
Yeah, and Phantom 1988 got a spot on there with that comment. I'll just throw it up because it actually does.
Mm-hmm.
It's
a
point there. But that's exactly
they're right.
But this is what's been happening. And Doctor Who fans, well, they call themselves fans, right? The ones that actually haven't watched the show, they're buying into all this and think it's great. But see, they're exposing themselves of not watching the show before because they all think this is brilliant and all brand new, where we've seen this all being done before. And they will buy this and lap this all up. But I can't believe this episode is actually being praised. But now I'm actually starting to see some of the comments, and some of them are funny. I'd rather watch paint dry.
Yeah, you know, it's always the way. As soon as the episode airs, the next like hour from the airtime for the next hour to hour to I say 80 minutes, only positive. It's like very J-bots. They're all going great. It's great, greatest thing ever. And then it takes about an hour and a half to 2 to 3 hours before like you get people going, that was awful. And then over the next 2 or 3 days, they become the vast majority.
But you have to understand, Rabbi, these people don't study episodes like we do.
Yeah.
They don't do that. They're like on their phones, they're on Facebook while this on. This is what this is made for people that are on their phones and doing other things and
right,
watching
yeah. I totally
this is not
that.
for people like us that actually, you know, kind of hold the episode accountable to previous canon. So that's why.
Yeah, well, not only that, they know. Here's the thing: BBC should know that we're going to scrutinize these episodes. We're going to take them apart. There's other YouTubers that obviously do it better than I do, and I can put my hands up and say that. But you know, they should be aware. Well, I say they are, but they obviously don't give a crap because right now they think this show is well. They are worried, but. Right now, they've probably in their heads have enough people watching, but I don't know how people can keep watching this. I don't even know why I keep watching it, but the way I look at it is we've only got 2 episodes to go now, so
thank God.
I'm actually proud of myself, and we all should be proud of ourselves on this.
This is it's getting harder.
It really is. It really is.
Because every week, and you know what? And it's my stupidity. I don't know about yours, but. Even after a bad week, I'm always saying, "Okay, it can't possibly get worse."
I quit saying that. I quit saying that because I know it's going to be bad.
I know this is what I'm saying, and I keep saying I'm going to quit saying that, but I keep saying it every week. It's not going to be.
So it's you, Noel. It's you.
I just need to stop kidding myself that this is good. I mean, we're 2 episodes left. If it was going to get better, it should have got better mid-season. I mean,
if it's not good by the 3rd episode, it's not going to be good.
No, and it's sad. It's sad because I don't know. We never know if Chris Chibnall hadn't went off and had his little fit. You know how this would have actually turned out because to me it looks like
there's no way you could have saved it. You can't save with Whittaker. You can't do it.
No.
Yeah, but it's not just her. You know, it's not just her. It's the team of writers as well. You know, it's just everything. It's his choices. He's way over his head. His writers are way over their head. She's way over her head. Unfortunately, the companions are all way over their head. Even Graham, who I like, is starting to kind of grate me now.
Mm-hmm. I kind of said the same thing. Like it doesn't thrill me anymore. I'm just so over it that even just watching him doesn't give me any like happiness anymore.
I wonder if every level of production is all in this is equally bad. Like I wonder if like the guy who makes the tea makes really bad tea. You know, everything about this is just everything is underperforming.
How is it? This is right. That's like, you know, how is it possible to make bad tea? But you know, it's how is it? Yeah, right. So it's the same thing with this.
That's it. I mean, if you don't know what you're doing with anything, you know, you're not going to be great. And unfortunately, you know, Chris Chibnall, he's a fan, right? That's what he says he is. We got proof that he is because he was there, but I doubt if he ever was a fan the way he criticised. But we just say he's a fan, but unfortunately he's one of these fans that just can't write for Doctor Who. He just doesn't know.
You know what honestly what I think it is that
what he needs to be capable of doing to produce Doctor Who, because he's got his own little ego, doesn't he, Blue Bonnet? He's like so far up his own arse. He thinks it's
that is true, but I think he thinks that he can make it better.
Yeah,
like not in a way that we would appreciate, because he's trying to make amends for the past of this toxic masculinity, and that's what he's focused on. And I think that's the worst thing that he could be focused on.
he should be just focused on making a great show, and then he'd have it all behind him.
I mean, I understand, like, you want to make it better, but you need to have the right motivation, like, trying to basically...
No, you're right. You have to have the right motivation.
Yeah. I mean,
not going in with any preconception.
Not destroying the past is not the right motivation. That's really didn't work for Star Wars.
I don't think he liked the way he was treated by Pip and Jane Baker and the rest of them that time. And I think this is a big FU to them and us.
Are they still alive, Pip and Jane Baker?
I don't know.
Wouldn't you love them to come in and critique his episodes? I would pay for that.
If I was a multi-millionaire, I'd just ring them up and I'd ring their agents up and they'll say, listen, I'll give both your clients €1 million each.
They can totally make it. Yeah. Wouldn't you love it? It'd be fantastic.
I'm telling you, I'd love it. I would love it, but we need someone though to come out. But you look at the end, you've seen it. The criticism of this era. Even though Series 11, in my opinion, is still worse because it was.
I don't know. In some ways, I think this is worse.
I know. I said a few weeks ago, I do think this is worse, but I've had time to think. It's at least with this. Okay, I know it's member berries, but we still have something, right? Last year we got nothing. There was nothing resembling Doctor Who whatsoever. I think it was mortally wounded in Series 11.
I think I'm more angry with this series, though. I don't know why.
But it's what he's doing now.
Yeah, that's true. The canon thing.
Yeah,
that would make sense.
We're angry now because he's messing with canon. Whereas before, see, this is the thing. We're all right to complain last year, but you see, in complaining now, we've actually given him the weapons and the tools to go.
We gave him a boost.
Yeah,
but you know what? I would never take back all the things I've said about.
No, neither would I. That's the problem. Mm-hmm. That's the problem.
I mean, let's say that I could see the future, and I know that this is going to make him worse. I would still say what I had to say back then.
I know. Well, I wouldn't back down myself, but this is his response, and he's going to mess with. Do you know what? I wouldn't be surprised, right? And it's not that I know anything, but I'm just throwing that out here. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a massive, I'm going to screw with you. I'm going to mess around with you, thinking that I'm messing with canon, but I'm not actually going to mess with canon. But I'm going to, like that thing that me wife makes me watch where they're going to hang all the naids there. And then
he's not. Look, he's not pulling punches. This is the real deal.
Do you think it's the real deal, Jay?
Yeah, it's the real deal. You have to believe that Chibnall is not pulling punches. This is the real thing.
I would like to think that I'm wrong, but I agree with Jason.
Yeah.
Does anyone know if the next 2 episodes are going to be written by Chibnall?
I believe
I think so. I'll look it up for you.
Okay, I got to say, if that's the case, then they're probably going to be better than all the other crap we've been seeing, because his episodes, for the canon shifting that takes place, that aside, his episodes are more watchable than anybody else's.
And that's not saying very much.
They're maybe going to be co-written.
Say what?
Eddie from Scarrow, did he not say a while ago that if you see an episode with Chibnall's name on it now, it's specifically with the story arc, and there's a good chance it'll be co-written? So flying solo.
Yeah, that's right. And there was a couple co-written by him as well in this series. He'd written his own standalone, and he co-written actually 5 all in all. So he's co-written 3. And he's written 2, hasn't he? No, he's written 3 and co-written 2 so far. So
which are the 3?
The next 2 episodes are written by him and him alone.
The first 2, Spyfall and Spyfall 2, written by Chibnall alone.
Yeah, and it is also directed by the same guy who did Spyfall 1. So next 2 episodes, pure Chibnall by the guy who did Spyfall 1.
Then it'll be better.
Let's
other than him destroying canon.
Right. Well, let's look at this positively, right? So we all in agreement on the panel that Spyfall 1 was pretty okay, but that's not saying much, but it was still one of the better episodes. It was probably directed well as well. So the director from Spyfall 1, that's a thumbs up, right?
Yeah.
And Chris Chibnall did write Spyfall Part 1 as well. We can't, shy away from that. And we're all saying that was better than that last year. So that would be another little plus. Not saying much. I know you are all, I can see our faces. You're all looking the same. I'm trying to convince myself here, all right? But the last two are written by him. There could be a chance, as Jason said, that these would probably be the two best episodes. But that is insane.
Yeah.
No, but what I mean is the pacing is going to be better. You're going to be able to follow the story. You may not. We're not going to like the ending. You're not going to like you're not going to like how he destroys canon, because that's obviously going to happen. But overall, though, it's going to be a hell of a lot more watchable than these goofballs he's getting that he's hired to write some of these other stories.
Did you not think the scene at the start was cringy, though, the way they were acting? I thought that was real cheesy. I was even saying, Cheryl, is this supposed to be scary? Is this supposed to be scary, man? I'm cringed here looking. And she was laughing. She was actually laughing all the way through this episode. She's watching some thing called The Stranger now.
Oh, that's such a good show.
Is it? Is
yes,
it?
It's such a good watch.
All right. Well, she's there now, glued, so she has the earphones. She saw a trailer and she says she was.
Yeah, it's really good.
So she's doing that, and Ted is in his bed whinging as usual. But yeah, he's all right now. What's wrong with you, buddy? Do you want to come on the camera? Say hello. Come here to me. Your balls are up there. We took them out of the room because you're back. But yeah, that start scene was cringy, and I knew it was the diver. Said, "Sure, that's the doctor. It's the doctor at the door. It's the doctor." And that scene at the door was just, I don't know. Every time Jodie Whittaker and they just appear anywhere, that's it. I just tune out. I don't know what it is. I just tune out. Then
I mean, that scene where they open the door. Why did everybody scream?
This was just some Scooby-Doo level writing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, that's the best way to put it. Scooby-Doo level writing.
I mean, they got the Scooby-Doo mansion and everything.
Yeah. And the house, and it wasn't. Look, again, it was a robbed concept, but if done properly, this could have had potential. But that's just trying to be generous.
Do you think that they're giving that Graham has much better lines than everyone else? Or do you think that maybe it's just because he's just a hell of a lot better actor that he becomes this highlight of the show? Not the highlight, but he becomes the most entertaining.
I don't think his lines are any better, Jason. I just think he's better at delivering his lines.
Exactly.
I agree 100%. And for that reason, I think it could be said that you hire good actors and everything else just comes alive in a way that it wouldn't otherwise. I'm not saying it would make it good, but it would certainly make it a hell of a lot more watchable the way Graham makes things more watchable, even though it's written by the same people.
I thought I was the only one that imagined that, Gary. That's a great point. I thought I was the only one that imagined that. So apparently, while I was watching the episode, did anybody not notice that Jodie Whittaker's hair was changed color during the episode?
It just seemed longer, but I didn't. I try not to look at her very long.
That's where they did the reshoots. It's kind of obvious when it's actually because I was looking. I said, her hair is longer. It's shorter there, and it's longer there. What the hell is going on there?
Yeah, I try not to stare at her very long.
Exactly. That's when she comes on screen, I want to blank it out.
What I thought was hilarious is Lord Byron trying to hit on her.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
What was it, Lady Doctor, or Madame Doctor?
Mrs. Doctor. It was Mrs. Doctor.
Mrs. Doctor, yeah.
I'm surprised she didn't lecture him on that. That shocked me a little.
Well, she didn't like it when he said it.
No.
She didn't like it when he said it.
That's
but
true.
I mean, here's all these these feminine women, and here's this and it just seemed unrealistic. And it's nothing. It's just she's so not feminine. So it's hard for me to suspend my disbelief.
What did he see in her?
Yeah,
Jesus.
It was really hard to suspend my disbelief on that one.
What did he see in her? He goes for the dowdy, ugly ones. This dashing.
Someone made a point there. Do you think Jodie Whittaker seems to be into this?
No, I don't think she is. I think I really now it's got terrible ratings. They all want to go because they all look stupid. They all look like they've driven off the cliff. They all look like they failed. The thing that people in Hollywood hate
how bad she is.
Yeah, there's no way around it.
Yeah, but hold on. Her being such the feminist that she is, would she not want to stick around to make it good, to fix the wrong?
Yeah, but again, I just don't think she's got that kind of backbone or
work
character.
ethic.
Yeah, I just think she's like, oh no, people don't like me. I better go.
She complains that she's got to do 10 episodes a series.
Oh my god!
And like, there's a huge like.
Well, at least
time
they cut it down
period
from 11 last year.
Oh yeah, listen,
I mean,
don't
you
start
know,
me
it's
on
like,
that.
huh?
Don't start me on that. You had the entire cast complaining that they only had 4 weeks off. Now, 4 weeks in the UK is the statutory holidays you get. So for them to be bitching about getting the statutory holidays when they're getting highly inflated salaries is a joke. Come on, guys. You know, we've got to work. You know, a job that's a damn sight more stressful than waving a bloody sonic screwdriver about. And,
right. I wish I had her job.
$1,000 a season, and they're sitting bitching about that. Wind your neck in. You're actors. You're not saving lives, for Christ's sakes.
Yeah, she's getting 4 weeks at one time together. We have to like schedule it, like, you know, here and there.
Manip has been given out as well. She has. She did an interview where she calls out. She hits out at people that said she was a liability for being a Northern Asian woman.
What's got bugger all to do with that?
No, she's a liability because she's a bad actress.
Right.
I put the article up, but the interesting thing is a lot of people made the point, but wasn't Christopher Eccleston Northern? And I says, yes,
but he's a good actor.
You know, but this is the thing. This is what they do. And she's always moaning about something on Twitter as well. She's never happy. She talked about privilege a few months back, and you know,
I can't follow people like her on Twitter because I couldn't keep my mouth shut.
By the way, Blue Bonnet says that show that you're watching is actually very good. Yeah. She's alive, guys. She's alive. No spoilers. We're giving no spoilers.
Yeah, I'm not telling you anything.
She won't tell you anything. She won't tell you. We got a $2 super chat there by Mr. CCDV, I think, is it? Yeah, it's taking a bit slow to come up on my screen. But what did it say? Hold on. I love Doctor Who. I just wish it was written better. That's the problem.
Right.
That's the problem that we're having. Yeah, I will. Yeah, that's the problem that we're having, and it's the problem that we had under Moffat near the end. And BBC thought that, or Chibnall, or whoever came up with the idea of giving Chibnall the job, right, who thought it was a brilliant idea, thought he would bring the show to the next level. All they've managed to do is actually destroy the show. They thought they were being revolutionary by giving a woman the lead role after a man had held it for over 50 years. And it backfired. It's as simple as that. Whether people like it or not, Jodie Whittaker is not a popular doctor. And I don't think, and this is going to be an unpopular opinion, but I don't think a female doctor really works with this fandom right now. I think it was the wrong time to do it. I think there should have been more groundwork laid, to be honest with you, before you even attempt to do it like this. But the half-assed way that they went about it is where we are, and this is the result. This is where we are now. And you know, they didn't treat Doctor Who with respect. Chris Chibnall certainly hasn't treated Doctor Who with respect, or his fans. And what does he expect?
He was expecting complete adulation. He thought if he makes the Doctor a woman, it becomes critic-proof. You know, and you have Yaz, you have Ryan. You can't criticize it because these are protective classes. You know,
he lives in an echo chamber. That's
exactly. Yeah. And again, that's why the rating figures are so freaking awesome, because there's no way you can spin that. And they're trying so they're like, well, TV viewership in general is going down. Yes, because all TV is crap.
Yeah. But see, as we have said, for Doctor Who fans, the only problem that there was with the show, people said the show was getting stale. No, it wasn't. It wouldn't be around for as long as it was if it was stale. It always reinvents itself.
No, this is stale.
The thing about it, exactly, this has gone stale already. This is absolutely, you know what, I'm done with mediocre entertainment now. I am. I'm sorry. As a fan, right? I deserve more. Now, if that's some sort of self-entitlement, I don't care what the media say, and I don't care what the BBC say. I can't wait to do that stream tomorrow on that article, because I'm going. Do you know what? I'm done playing games.
It's not self-entitlement. You pay their bills.
Exactly. I want to escape from my daily things that bring us down in life. Everybody does. We want that escapism, right? I don't want to be watching Doctor Who to be bored, to be preached at, to be told that I'm a horrible bastard, right? I want to watch a show to make me laugh, to put me on the edge of my seat, to make me hide, even as an adult, to make me hide behind the bleeding sofa. Why not?
Right.
You know what I mean? Scare the shit out of the kids. What's the problem with doing that? And actually giving us decent stories. You didn't need to go down this route. You thought this was some revolutionary way to get viewers in. Well, it's backfired on you. It worked for the first couple of episodes of Series 11, and then it dropped after that. Everybody thought, the fad is gone. And then, do you know what? You made the excuses then. Then it was, oh, well, maybe we waited a year too long. Maybe we should have just threw her on the screen straight away. And then nobody.
Right.
No, sorry. A year, you waited a year for the fandom to calm down because you thought the fandom would then accept Jodie Whittaker as the Doctor. But what you didn't envision is that people would still be against this, and that's what's annoyed us, right?
So let me ask you, Noel. So you're saying in the article that you quoted, you're saying that the BBC is claiming that fans are self-entitled. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, so they're self-entitled because they have opinions about what they want relating to Doctor Who. Is that the idea?
No, they made it in relation. The article started off with Sonic the Hedgehog. So do you know when the trailer came out for Sonic the Hedgehog,
right,
and the fans didn't like the way Sonic was designed, and then the filmmakers actually said, okay, fair enough, and they redesigned Sonic, they did, for the fans, right? So because they did that, the filmmakers did that, the BBC are calling fans self-entitled.
So let me get this straight. So they
should be just happy basically with what they're getting and not be complaining.
So the people who are putting out the money and creating these movies are doing it for who? Themselves or for the fans?
Exactly.
And you want to say because they're doing it for someone other than themselves that they're self-entitled? Well, you should probably listen to the people who you're marketing your product to, your target audience. You should probably listen to them and even find out if that's something that they're interested in before you go shooting off your mouth and calling them self-entitled. Because unless you're making something just for yourself, it's worth considering the target audience's opinion. That's exactly why they have focus groups, you dumb dipshits.
Exactly. And David just sent me a £5 super chat. Listen, mate, thanks very much. This is David that we had the hoolie with earlier on.
You know what? There's a famous thing in football where they say without fans, football is nothing.
Exactly.
Well, you know what? Without fans, the output of the BBC, particularly something like Doctor Who, is nothing.
Exactly.
So currently,
David asks, what was Yaz talking about earlier about someone in her life? Was she admitting she liked the Doctor that way?
Right. That's really what I thought. Like it really seemed that she was like shipping for the Doctor.
What was the context of that little commentary between her and the other lady, though? I need to remember that because I watched that scene. I didn't interpret it the way you're.
It was something about romance, and there's somebody that she likes, and she says, "Well, who is it that you like?" He said, "Well, it's very different." I was like, it sounded like talking about the Doctor.
Yeah, I guess I got more of the sense that wasn't it. There was some connotation that they didn't understand. Maybe I'm wrong. I probably need to rewatch it, but God knows that's not going to happen.
Yeah, forget that.
You know what? Yeah, just rewatch that scene. Sure, BBC America will have their YouTube channel full with clips to try get fans to watch and entice fans to watch. So you'll find one. But yeah, I don't know. Look, if this Dr. Yaz thing was gonna happen, There has been nothing to lead up to it, so it would be unbelievable, in my opinion.
Well, that's very Kibnall, doesn't it?
I'll actually ask the rest, to be fair, because you have given a £5 super chat. I'll be fair and I'll ask the rest of the panel as well. If this was actually to happen, this whole shipping business that there's the other side of being talking about, I mean, to me, I don't see anything that has led up to this to justify this happening anyway. But what do you guys on the panel think?
They're just projecting. They just want crap like this to happen because that's what they focus on. They're looking for lesbian relationships and all this. You know, this is the kind of nonsense. They see things through that lens. You know, I mean, really, honestly, you have to be. I mean, seriously, man, these are people that are really, in my opinion, that see it that way, that are seeing that. They're looking through that lens because they support that agenda. That's exactly why.
Well, of course, but I think because they mentioned it in the series today, they really did. Yeah, I mean, look, you have to go back and watch it to see for yourself, but I wouldn't recommend it. They do. So I think it's going to happen, and I hope that's going to happen. I hope the Timeless Child is the Ruth Doctor company. I hope they're going to blow up canon. I hope they're going to do whatever they need to do to turn 90% of fans against this show.
I wouldn't put past Chibnall to do it at the very end or something when Jazz is dying or something. She professes her love to the Doctor or something. I wouldn't put it past him.
I've got an interesting question for you all, actually. Do you think he'll throw a curveball in there and we might actually get an appearance of a previous companion that we haven't heard of? That's something that they've managed, like the Captain Jack.
Rose. Because if they're going to do it, it's going to be a Rose thing.
Because I was thinking that as well, because I'll tell you why. Do you remember when Captain Jack, when John Barrowman was actually back in England and everybody was speculating, oh, he's back in Doctor Who, and then he put out a video very quickly. Oh, no, me and the husband are moving back to England and we're actually renovating our house. And he even went into a paint store and said,
I saw the video.
He says, I need your help to pick the paint and all. We'll have a competition and all that. And then Billy Piper did a similar thing. Do you remember when she was actually rumored to be in Doctor Who? She came out with the whole thing. Oh, no, I'm just promoting a show and a charity and people.
Right. It was like she did something like she had news or something and being some charity. Yeah. And everyone was speculating that she was going to come back.
And then she kind of backtracked a little bit. Then it turned out to be she was promoting a different show.
And then that can box tick a little bit. I mean, and I wouldn't doubt that I don't put anything past Chibnall. You know, I mean, I stopped doing that because just like the whole Ruth Doctor and all that, you know, like, oh, no, they wouldn't do that. They wouldn't mess with canon. And as soon as I said that, guess what?
It would actually make sense, though, to bring her back, because if this is a fractured timeline for some reason, because something has to explain the Ruth Doctor, right? Then remember, Rose is on that parallel Earth, so it would make...
Look, the only reason they would bring her back, and this is just my opinion, is if they get desperate. If they get desperate,
well, they're already there.
No, I know, but I'm saying just like the Cybermen, just like the Jejune. Look, they bring them back when they get desperate. They really don't want to bring that stuff back. They
brought Jack back.
Yeah, that's exactly why they brought Jack back, because it's just a gimmick. It's just a gimmick. They do this stuff because they know that people are going to go, you know, the antenna's going to fly up in the air and they're going to go, oh, but really it's just a gimmick because they don't have any real interest in pursuing that.
I'm being honest, guys. I wouldn't be surprised if these last 2 episodes were rewritten and he has shoehorned someone into these 2 episodes. I just have that feeling. I don't know what it is, but after this week's episode, it just... This week, look, if I'm going to be honest, this week's story was flat to me, right? I'm going to be as kind as I can, right? It was flat. The acting wasn't great, in my opinion. It had some interesting concepts, but again, Chibnall and his writers just can't pull anything off. They're just not qualified enough.
What do you expect? They're not writing Doctor Who.
They're not sci-fi.
Exactly.
Maxine Alderton has 4 writing credits. 4. And one of them's Emmerdale.
Yeah.
Another one's The Worst Witch. No, it's 3, I think. And I don't know what the other one was. I don't care. Other Doctor Who. I don't care. Like whatever her writing credits don't appeal to me at all.
These are just really bad impersonations of Doctor Who. Things they're trying to pass off as Doctor Who, palming off as bad, really horrible impersonations. You got writers who are trying to impersonate Doctor Who writers, actors who are trying to impersonate Doctor Who actors. This is this one big impersonation after another, and it's just
it actually is.
It really and truly is.
What's that?
You've got Chibnall trying to impersonate RTD.
Yes.
Yeah, badly. Exactly. Again, everything's done badly.
And you know, if it was RTD, I don't know. Because he's a writer, he'd know what Chibnall is actually doing. If I was RTD, I'd be rightly pissed now. I'd be
sure.
I don't know if he would or not, because if you look at anything that RTD's written recently, it's kind of very agenda. It's very agenda laced.
Yeah, he's gone very woke now. He has, he's gone very woke.
Unfortunately, I mean, I was very sad about that.
No, sure. He said he'd rewrite roles, and we'd have the Doctor as the Doctor would identify as something completely different than all this crap. No,
he
has these
really
bad
lost
ideas now. I wouldn't bring him back. He was good at the time. He was the right man to bring Doctor Who back.
For sure.
He understood it. Even Moffat, to some degree, understood Doctor. He just went a bit crazy near the end.
Yeah, he did, but he understood. He understood the Doctors as should be like not one political leaning and the other.
You're saying he understood his character.
Yeah, he did.
And he would have his little temper tantrums and put little things in there to upset the fans, but he'd always rectify it. He'd have his little temper tantrum, and then he'd come out, apologise, and then he'd rectify it. But Chibnall and even BBC, and I want to bring it back to last week just for a few minutes, because BBC have faced unprecedented backlash for last week's episode. Fair play to everybody that actually wrote in. Brilliant. Eddie Scarrow put a post up. They're actually so swamped with replies that it's going to take them at least 2 weeks to reply to people. I actually sent in my email, strongly worded email, in last night. I highlighted a few of the issues and the problems that I have, especially with last week's episode, but the series in general. They sent me back an automatic reply tweet to say that someone will get back to me in 3.5 weeks. So I have to wait 3.5, because they asked me if I wanted a reply, and I says, goddamn right, I want the reply. I want to hear what you have to say, because they're using the Radio Times and the stuff that they've come out with since have proved that BBC actually don't give a shit about what people felt about that episode last week, because then they come out with a hit piece then and say fans are self-entitled. Right, so it goes to show you, and they didn't even apologise properly, which was the thing, but they never do. So why am I even surprised that an organisation that covered up for?
I'm not surprised that they talk about fans being entitled.
It's the same thing over and over, attacking fans because they just want the best for their
or they don't want
it, and it's getting ridiculous.
Let me ask you the trailer for next week. It's
I saw it was a 10-second trailer.
I didn't watch it.
BBC.
It seems to be ripping off the Big Finish story, Spare Parts.
Oh
God!
Right, because all I seen was in the trailer was what we got to see in that big massive trailer they gave us at the start. The lone Cyberman is walking through that junkyard or something.
Right.
And they talk about the cyber war for a couple of seconds.
Well,
and
you see some people dressed up in like 1920s, 1930s costume.
Don't think I've seen that in that trailer. Or maybe
it was the one they had on after it. So I'm thinking that's kind of similar to Spare Parts.
Oh, I keep forgetting I'm a tick. You're right. They do a little trailer right at the end, and then before they put on the next program on BBC, they show the full-length trailer. I'm an idiot. Keep missing that one. I didn't watch the boss. No, I didn't even know the running joke that was happening this week when everybody says "Don't kiss Byron," and then everybody was saying, "I said, what are they actually all on about?" Because I didn't see the trailer. Because I'm not. See, this is what I mean. Even when the trailer is at the end of the episodes, I'm that bored. I'm not even paying attention anymore. But these two,
we're all there. We're all there.
These 2 episodes coming up, I'll be paying attention. because I'll be live during the 2 episodes. It's going to be interesting to see what he does now. I'm dreading next week. Now,
That's true. I mean, the trouble. We only got 2 weeks to go, thank God. But they're going to be the hardest 2 weeks.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. And we'll probably have plenty to say after the 2 weeks is up.
Yeah, that's true.
There's going to be a lot of fallout. There's going to be a lot of fallout.
It's going to be bad.
Well, either way, either their side of the fandom is going to be highly offended, or the other side of the fandom is not going to be happy. So either way, he's not going to be able to please both because he's incapable of. So he's going to let down one side of the fandom.
No, he's going to continue to pander to the same side of the fandom he's always pandered to.
So he's going to let us down, and the backlash is.
I already know what the fallout's going to be. The true fans are going to absolutely abhor how he's destroying canon, and the other guys are going to say this is one of the best because it's Chibnall writing. It's not going to be the worst. It's not going to be the worst directed, but it's going to be. It's going to be an exercise in how can we shred canon, and the fans are going to be miserable in that respect. The other people are going to be they're not going to be so consumed with canon. They're just going to be happy that this was a well performed, well written episode. That thank God we've got Chibnall on board because
the lone Cyberman, and then she gets the loans. You know what?
She's stupid.
Rob Boy has been saying this for the past 8 weeks. And Jason's been saying the same thing. We've all been saying the same thing. And she is the most incompetent, stupid. It's just the way she's written, though. But I mean, Jack says it right to the companions. Don't give the love. Make sure she does.
And what does she do?
Like the first thing she does.
And then she goes. The companions go. She gives them some big speech, and she goes, "Yeah, I have a plan to fix what I just did there." And I'm like, "Oh, you stupid! Oh my God, let them die now. You can fix it somehow."
And Chibnall's gonna try to throw something out that he thinks is clever, and we're all gonna completely trash it because it's not gonna be clever. I already see it.
What do you expect?
I don't expect anything.
What do you expect? We're not reviewing Doctor Who. We're reviewing some bullshit.
She is right. We shouldn't even be calling this Doctor Who anymore. Jason Joyce's been saying it for weeks. Why are we still calling it Doctor Who?
We just need to have sound bites ready because we're saying the same thing.
Let me ask, because I know Bluebonnet doesn't watch it, and I honestly have seen the first episode, so I have a little bit of knowledge about it. But okay, Rabbi, Noel, Gorminator. I'm sure Gorminator. You probably seen. You watched a little bit of it, maybe. Star Trek Discovery.
Oh yeah,
right? This abomination, right? So Star Trek. When you watch Star Trek Discovery, are you thinking, "Wow, this is"? I feel like I'm watching. This is Star Trek.
No.
Do you think in terms of this is Star Trek we're reviewing here? We're talking about Star Trek. No, you don't. No. You don't see it as Star Trek. This is just some abomination that they put together with the Star Trek name. And this is exactly what's going on with Doctor Who. It's an abomination. It's not Doctor Who. It's just they put the Doctor Who name on it and it tricks people. It's like a mind trick. It's like this Jedi mind trick where they show you the picture and you're thinking, oh, well, it's got the name on it. But honestly, when you look at the DNA, it's just like Star Trek Discovery. It's like Picard. It's got the name, but there's no substance to it. You take the fingerprint and you don't find the person's picture in the database. It's just some other wacky, some other flip-flop picture, This is not, like I say, this is not Doctor Who.
Where's she getting all these powers from?
I know, I keep saying that.
Last week she had the Jedi Force Ball.
I know. I mean,
so annoying.
Jesus Christ, man.
She's a Jedi.
They just got magnetism.
Get out of anything.
Magnetism.
Last week, that screwdriver scene was absolutely ridiculous. But then she just seems to be doing this Vulcan mind thing on everybody. I know that whose doctor did it first? There was a doctor that did it first. I think it was
there was Tennant that but he took Donna's memories.
But in Classic Who, I think William Hartnell was the first doctor to do something similar.
I don't remember that.
But wasn't there a doctor that levitated?
Wasn't it the first doctor where they all connect each
That was in
other?
the Zero Room though. That was Davidson in the Zero Room, and he levitated. But the odd thing is that nobody else levitated because there was no gravity in the Zero Room. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
Davidson
They
levitated.
fixed up the special effects of the DVD
Bring back
on the
the
Blu-ray.
Zero Realm. Love the Zero Realm. Simple concept, but the Zero Realm. And
You know, we
But what I don't
Zero
understand
Realm.
about that is that why didn't like Tegan and Nyssa because there's no gravity, right? There's why didn't they levitate too? Like that confused me. But anyway, that's a whole other subject.
Yeah. But at least the writing was half decent back then. You look at what we're getting now.
I'm not a fan of that episode, but I know what you mean.
Yeah, but
Wait.
better.
It's not there was no gravity there. It was the laws of physics in the Zero Room were mutable, and you could change them to be what you wanted them to be.
So he could manipulate it.
He made himself float. But again, on the Blu-ray release of season 19, they redid the special effect for that. Much better.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, because that just threw me. So I get that. Makes sense.
There was that good scene in Terror of the Zygons where Tom Baker hypnotizes Sarah Jane to not have to breathe when they're running. I think in the episode 2 or 3.
I get the hypnotizing thing. It's just the mind, the memory thing where she touches
it a lot. That's the thing. She's doing it a lot, though. It's like it seems to be this mad trait that Chibnall thinks is gonna okay, this is her gimmick kind of thing. With Capaldi, it was like the sonic sunglasses, but with her, it's like the vocal mind.
That was like mechanical, though. This is like the Force or something. Like the whole magnetism thing, like Time Lord magnetism. It's like, what the hell?
Yeah, she's got midichlorians.
X-Men.
Oh,
yeah.
It's getting ridiculous now. Just go back to when the Doctor got into sticky situations and found clever ways of getting out.
I got into it classic era because it was like a mystery. Like they would throw things in like that every once in a while, but it wasn't like it's like every episode with her.
Yeah. We will be having Ballstreck joining us pretty soon. He's just sent me a message to say he'll be joining us soon. Be interested to hear what he actually.
Pretty soon, Noel. Jodie Whittaker is going to start casting lightning bolts like the Emperor.
Yeah,
she's going to be
Don't give them ideas.
Yeah, you
go for it.
I actually, this stream is actually being sent to the BBC press office. So there you go, Chibnall. There's an idea for you. Make them come out of our eyes as well if you want.
At least we would have a good laugh over it.
Or maybe out of our arse, something to make us laugh, because
the arse is actually would be great.
She was genuinely funny in this episode, but it was actually by accident because the writing was so bad that when she acted the scene, it just became funny. For example, when she's running through the rooms, she keeps coming back to the room. Like the way she was even acting, and that I think that was supposed to be a serious saying, she's frantic and stuff, but it just turned out to be funny. I just don't know.
I didn't laugh at all. I was just angry the whole time and I have to watch it. That's what it is.
I just don't know. This show has made me dumb.
It shouldn't have to be painful to watch a show like this. It shouldn't have to be drudgery.
Yeah,
I feel like ulcers sticking up every time I think about watching it.
Is this where do you rate this amongst the where does this rate in this series?
How low can we go?
As low as you want to. I don't. Do you know what?
Infinity and beyond.
There's no rating anymore.
Right. Okay. I'll put it this way: is this episode worse than Spyfall Part 2?
Yes.
We know it's right.
Yes, it is. Yes, it's worse than Spyfall Part 2.
It's not as bad as Orphan 55 because I don't think anything is, but it's close.
Right.
I don't know, man. Orphan 55 was, to me, it made me angry, but even that might have been a little more entertaining. This was just absolutely mind-bogglingly boring. I mean, honestly, it was just so freaking for me, honestly. I didn't get anything out of the Mary. Why did they even have it about Mary Shelley to begin with? They could have just picked anybody.
Right. Yeah, exactly. They just
Frankenstein.
All right, but that's
kind of metaphor that didn't work.
Do you know why? Because maybe the big finish. See, this is what
the
probably
Cybermen.
thinking. because the Big Finish audio did well, they probably thought, you know, this would be a good
because
idea to draw some
Chibnall,
fans in.
yeah, Chibnall like gets ideas. He's a hack and a fraud, and yes, he didn't write it, but he is the showrunner. So,
just have to say, Gorminator has to head off. He's up at 5 in the morning. Jesus, mate, you want to get yourself to bed? It's what, 10:30 now. Jeez, you've only got about 6 hours, Kip. Jeez, without envying him.
That's all right. I'll just watch that episode again. I'll be sound asleep, so you know.
No, put on Praxius. That was worse.
That was much worse.
That was worse. Or if you even want to sleep even quicker, go back to Series 11 and put on It Takes You Away.
Oh my God!
No. Look at that bloody frog.
All the effort to get to the frog.
David sends another £5 super chat and he says, Eddie says the series and Chibnall will be under review after it ends soon. Yes, they will be because of the recent complaints. I told you already, guys, right? You know, BBC eventually will have to listen to the fans, right? They will. They're under attack everywhere, but Jason did make the point, was it about Ofcom? Like, they're the ones that are kind of controlling all this. These would be the guys that you'd have to kind of complain to. But right now, BBC are dealing with a lot of complaints, and they're not too happy about it. So I just say, keep it up, because there's plenty to complain about this episode this week. Just keep it up, see what happens. You never know what happened. There is always an end of season review. They have to look at this logically. Right, I know they probably won't, and Jason's probably right. In the end, they'll probably just plow through because they don't give a crap. But let's hope there's someone up there in the board that actually does give a crap about Doctor Who and is willing to fight for it and say, no, enough is enough. We have to get rid.
Well, isn't Jane Tranter coming the Director General?
I think so, yeah.
Well, that's going to be good news, maybe.
That's very good news.
April or something, isn't it? Not though. April or something. That's not happening until.
Yeah, well, they're not filming till September. That announcement again was such a non-announcement. That was like, we have to announce something to show everybody everything is okay, and they announced that there's filming a year from now. No, that's bad news.
Oh, there's Ballstrick now. Hold on, I'll get him in. Why does this always happen? Why can't I always see the enemy screen? Why does this always happen? Is he in? There he is.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone.
Hey.
Hello.
So did we all enjoy The Haunting of Villa I Don't Give a Shit?
Oh, yeah. It was the best episode ever.
You're brilliant. You know what? I'm so happy right now. You know, to see a Cyberman, you know, with emotions and stuff. And it was great to see Graham run around the house, look for a toilet when they didn't even exist. And it was great to see Jodie Whittaker just, you know.
Yeah, it was amazing. Oh, my God.
Anybody notice the Big Finish connection?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What, the what's it, the Turk?
The Turk, yes. With a Cyberman.
Yeah.
That looks like the Cyberman we saw.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Mary Shelley is the companion.
Right. And next week's one looks just like Spare Parts.
Yep.
I tell you, here's the amazing thing about Chibnall. He steals ideas from everywhere, and they're good ideas, and he puts them together, and he sucks all the enjoyment out of them somehow.
Yeah.
How can you take all those good ideas and make all of them suck? It's incredible.
Because it's Chibnall.
It's like a superpower.
Anybody notice the writer for this episode?
Yes, Maxine Alderton.
Yes, 116 episodes of Emmerdale.
Oh my
God!
No,
and she had the worst witch was the other one. She's got like 3 writing credits.
Gorminator is at the leaving us. We forgot to actually say good night.
Good night, Gorminator. Sorry.
Did I scare him away?
No. He has to get up at 6 a.m.
My entry will be probably half an hour to 40 minutes as well. I've got a stack of paperwork I've got to get through tonight, so it's been a fun day.
Right, I'll probably exit with you because it's coming up to one for me.
Yeah.
Not about our
Monday
yes.
morning.
I'll tell you what. What we 40 minutes. So we'll finish 40 minutes from now, right?
Right. Sounds
We'll
good.
finish the stream 40 minutes from now. We'll leave when Ballstrek has to leave, because I think
Sounds
we've kind
good.
of said
Sounds
everything
good.
that we need to actually say. But Ballstrek, right, go on. Give us your a brief overview of what you thought of tonight's episode, and then if there's any good points. I know that's actually.
Okay, good points. For before the title sequence, it almost looked atmospheric, so it almost looked like it wasn't going to be shit. That's all I have to say. That's good.
Wow.
The dancing sequence was just wonderful.
Yeah.
And I loved how they capped it off with Graham has to pee. So, and Jodie Whittaker's speech at the end, once again trying to channel David Tennant, and ends up coming off looking like a word that I'm not going to say. Family-friendly show. Byron was, of course, your typical male douchebag. So yeah, that was to be expected. The story was boring as hell. I've already forgotten half of it. Somebody remind me, what else happened this week?
Cybermen?
Yes, the Cybermen. And as soon as the Cybermen showed up, I'm like, yep, this is going to be Frankenstein. And yep, the Cybermen was Frankenstein. So I saw that. That's about it. It was dull. That's all I have to say. It was dull, painful. One thing that, well, many things annoy me, but one thing that annoyed me even more than this week is, you ever notice how Dr. Nasty could never actually shut up? Well, that seemed to be even worse. As soon as they show up at the door, and I don't think it's ever explained why they're there, they're just there. As soon as the door opens, then the yammering starts. This shows A, terrible writing, and B, the fact that they actually have no confidence in her because she can't handle a scene without dialogue. Another thing that I noticed, which was also down to bad writing, anybody notice how they were describing everything as it happened?
Yeah, I was saying that we have a habit of explaining shit in this series.
Maybe they thought they were doing a big finish.
It's a common thread, though, isn't it? In this series, like you always have.
Well, they were doing a big finish.
Yeah,
badly.
Really, I got everything they take. They just do it badly.
Yep. Uncultured barbarian with a
$4. So just do the big finish and skip this one.
Yeah. He says, what are they doing with this series breaks my heart. Being a fan since the mid-'80s, and it's like watching them destroy an old friend in front of me. That's $5 super chat by Uncultured Barbarian. I love that name, actually. That's a cracking little name. Yeah, it is. It's not nice at all, and I wouldn't even mind. This episode is actually getting some praise, and it just goes and it annoys me.
They love it over on that forum. Which shall we?
Yeah. I'll name it. Gallifrey Base.
Yeah.
He just refuses.
Oh, stay away from there. That's crazy.
Yeah. He just refuses to name, but I don't give a shit. Look, they're all a bunch of twats over there at Gallifrey Base. They'd like dust. If it was jumping up.
The episode could consist of just one giant black screen for the entire episode, and they'd all chime in and
wonderful.
Say it was Emmy Award.
Oh yeah, that's it. I've no time for that.
It's sad because those that like the series, well, one is the ideologues. If anybody wants to know who they are, just go look on my Twitter. And then those that are in complete denial, where and I guess with that end, I can sympathize a little bit because I've lived and breathed this show my entire life, but this is not Doctor Who. There comes a point where you have to admit this is terrible. If you want real Doctor Who, get Big Finish and just ignore the logo because they were forced to use it too, along with everybody else.
They
we still
give
have
you
Doctor
an
Who
logo. When you buy Big Finish, they give you a different cover with the traditional logo.
Yeah, I think
that's good to know.
Yeah, I think they do that for the physical releases, which is good. And I could imagine there was a lot of fighting to get that done because Chibs wants every other logo eviscerated from existence because this is his ego trip.
Yeah,
Right.
ego trip. Yeah. Well, we'll see how long that ego trip lasts.
But that's that's kind of the point of that guy's comment. He feels like he just feels like he's watching him destroy an old friend. Dude, they're not destroying an old friend. They're just creating some Frankenstein bullshit. Excuse my language. Some Frankenstein something or other that it's not Doctor. They're not destroying anything you hold dear. They're creating something that's some kind of monstrosity that has Doctor Who attached to its exterior.
Yeah, it just has the name. That's the way you have to look at it.
I can't imagine 20 years from now somebody who watched this is inspired to write Doctor Who. I can imagine somebody who watched like the David Tennant era.
It probably inspired them to write something better. It probably inspired them.
No, because they would just turn this off. People don't like this show.
Era will probably be used on how not to write Doctor Who.
Yeah,
it will be on an Entertainment Weekly list of the worst ideas ever.
Well, if you look at some of the polls that the worst Doctor Who episodes feature, most of them feature Whittaker episodes now. So
already, so you can imagine what it's going to be like in 10 years.
Exactly. No, that's going to be forgotten about.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can look at the probably the nadir of New Who, or the worst episode prior to this was Fear Her. At least that's my opinion.
God.
And maybe some episodes from Series 10. But I have watched Fear Her again, and it is a work of absolute genius compared to this. Because
it's not saying anything.
It has David Tennant.
True.
It's
so bad, though. I know what you mean.
I keep telling Doctor Who fans, you shouldn't be actually lowering your expectations and actually saying that this was a good episode, because it wasn't. It's not up to the standards that Doctor Who should be at. It isn't Doctor Who. That is the problem. And until it becomes Doctor Who again, or a shadow of its former self, what you're watching right now will never be liked by this fandom, and it's proven. Look, I actually said this, Bolstrick. I don't know if you agree with me, but obviously the overnights will be down because of last week's episode. What do you think this episode will have? Do you think this episode will have any impact on the first part of the series finale next week in the ratings? Because this, in my opinion, was bad.
I'm not sure they're going to get a bump for the season finale.
I don't.
What do you think?
There's
that's an interesting thing. Do you think we get a bump?
Yeah, well, from what I hear on your side of the pond, they're not even publicizing Doctor Who. It's just kind of existing in a bubble right now. But they're pretty close to the lowest rated episode. Praxius, the final consolidated rating came in at 5.22. I think when Can You Hear Me comes out, which the consolidated should come out on Tuesday, I wouldn't be surprised if this one drops below 5 million. And we'll see the drop further again. There are right now, I'm just looking at the ratings from Series 10. So we had World Enough in Time finished at 5 million. Empress of Mars finished off at 5.2. Live the Land finished off at 4.82. So right now there's only 3 episodes.
Yeah. What was it? That's the overnights. That's not the consolidated.
Oh no. This is I'm using Wikipedia. That's the final consolidated figure.
No, one second. Let me look that up, because I think it's 1 second.
Because Praxius, the overnights, that was 3.91, was it? And it finished off at 5.22.
I think because the lowest rated one in consolidated was 5.12, and that was for Eaters of Light. Nothing went below that.
I think the plus 24 brought Eaters of Light over that, but the consolidated, so the plus 4, that one finished at 4.73 as far as I know.
Hang on a second, I'm looking up literally right now. Where is it? Because the Wikipedia one isn't so good. If you go to TV,
I had it up for reference, but you go to Doctor Who TVs.
That was much more accurate.
Ratings accumulator. So episode 6, so that was Praxius, finished at 3.97 overnight. Consolidated +4 was 5.22.
Right. And so that makes it the second lowest rated episode.
Wow.
Yeah.
But that's still bad. I mean, come on.
Well, and it hasn't dropped yet because keep in mind last week, the overnights dropped down to 3.81. So that could very realistically drop below 5 million.
Yeah, because again, they get between a 1.2 and 1.3 bump. So that's almost certainly going to be the lowest rated episode. So this season will have the lowest rated episodes and the lowest rated average because it's shit. That's why. You keep going, why? Oh, it's the same as I don't know. Oh, so no, it's because it's garbage. That's why nobody watches it.
And people are still defending this, which is mind-boggling. I can't get my head around that. How can you it's mediocre anyway, even at best. Even if I had Doctor Who stuff in it, felt like Doctor Who, it'd still be mediocre. It'd be like 10 episodes of filler.
It's a filler episode, at best.
Yeah.
I'd compare this to when I was desperately trying to convince myself that I liked the first 2 seasons of Star Trek Enterprise. Although this time I'm not being bought again, even those are genius compared to this. And it's not even subjective at this point. Objectively, this is a bad show. The scripts, the plotting is bad. The dialogue is bad. The directing is bad. The acting, even Graham this year is bad. And Tosin Cole was, last season he was okay, at least for the first half. But you can tell he's got his AMC deal or whatever he's doing. But you can tell even he doesn't care anymore.
He doesn't. Jodie Whittaker, someone actually made the point that they don't think Jodie Whittaker's heart's actually in it this serious.
Her heart has never been in it, really.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I don't think her heart has ever been in it, but do you think
if your heart was in it, she would have done her homework.
Her heart's in it, and she just doesn't show because she's a horrible actress, people. That's the problem.
The thing with Jodie Whittaker, if you look at her work prior to Doctor Who, she could only play one type of character, which is the sad, mopey character.
Yeah.
So
right, exactly.
A wife that's having an affair.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay, that could be. It's the range.
Bolster.
So
let me ask
somebody in the chat if he's still there. My DVD giveaway. We have the winner is in the chat tonight. I just did a draw while we're talking. This is the thing I'm giving away. Sil and the Devil's
Yeah.
So Maxo Marks, is that your name? Hang on.
XO Marks. I'll put. Is he in the live chat?
Yeah, he was in the chat like a minute ago. So
XO Marks, if you're in the chat, please leave a comment in the chat, and I'll put it up there on screen. You have won. Is that what you're saying? He's won.
You have won. Please be with it. Maxo Marks. You got the Harpo Marks avatar. And just get in contact with Twitter or Facebook. Send me your address. I felt bad that last week's the one wasn't the greatest story, so I picked a really good story to give away this week. Something that's a good palate cleanser to get you back into Doctor Who. The Green Death. The awesome Green Death.
Oh, absolutely.
Special edition.
I have that myself. Yeah, there he is. He's here. Yeah. There you go. Congratulations.
Yeah,
Matt.
congratulations.
This is what you've won. Show him what he's won again.
There we go.
Show him what he's won there.
It's so freaking weird.
There you go.
I still want to watch it.
So it's really good. I'll send you a copy.
Get in touch with him on Twitter or on YouTube or whatever. He needs to get your details off you. So.
Yeah. And everybody, I've sent everybody's package out. It went out today. Thank God. I had a pile of them to send out. So hopefully we'll get on a roll. So Green Death, I think that to win this, you have to subscribe to my channel and leave the hashtag. You only need to leave it once or twice for me to write you down. I think the hashtag, what should we do? Maggots or boss? What does the chat think? Would you rather say maggots or boss as a hashtag?
There you go, chat. Go ahead. Let's see. We'll read them now. Well, it's a bit slow on my side. The maggots and Green Death are more animated than Ryan.
Although YouTube with their oversensitive algorithm might censor out maggots, so it might not get through.
Oh no, it's coming through. Maggot. Okay,
Oh,
maggots
I
is
see
here.
why.
So
Okay.
Maggots, right? With maggots.
leave the green and leave the hashtag maggots, and this time next week we'll give it away, and hopefully one of you lucky people will win it.
Just I forgot to ask this question because normally when others run competitions, so just to make it clear, if people have won before, can they still enter the new competition?
Yes, they can. Yes, they can.
Okay.
But I only put one in. If you won before, you get one entry in. If you haven't won before, I put one every time I see a new name, I put it in the hat, and I might get you once or twice if you put your name in a lot. But if you won before, I'm trying to be very careful to get you get one entry.
Yeah, because yeah.
And that's fair.
That is fair because that's why I just thought bring it up so everybody knows what the rules are anyway. So it's hashtag maggots, is it?
Hashtag maggots this week.
Right. So there you go. Get hashtag in there if you just want to be in to win the Green Death. Some decent, actually top of the range.
Watch it and then watch. Watch Orphan 55 and then watch the Green Death. Then you'll want to cry.
No. Actually, no. More comparable than 55 would be Arachnids in the UK. Yep. That's very similar to Green Death. And oh my god, Arachnids in the UK is terrible. What's worse, Orphan 55 or Arachnids in the UK?
Orphan 55 and Arachnids was horrible.
Oh, but which is worse? Hold on.
Arachnids in the UK was the episode that broke Doctor Who, so we may have to give it. We may have to give it to Arachnids in the UK.
I see your point because they mention Orange Man bad forever. It's like the whole episode.
Had stupid dancing spiders. She
She didn't want to shoot the spiders, but she wanted to put them away in somewhere, close them off, and so they all just die.
Yeah, so
I think that was
it's that wonderful Doctor problem solving by killing everybody. As always. Yeah. And why is she taking everybody into the heart of a site? Oh my god, okay, let's just talk about the ending of this episode again. She got a premonition from a time traveler, tell her, don't do this. Don't give the Sideman what he wants. It's very bad. Don't do that. And then the episode she says, I know I shouldn't do this, and it's very bad, but I'm going to how stupid is she?
Because, as you have been saying for weeks, it's just the way she's being written. She's being written as this incompetent. So, look, at anybody here in the panel not surprised that any of her companions haven't been actually killed? Now,
I'm astounded. How
is Jazz still alive?
That I can't.
Yeah,
how is she alive? I mean, I can understand Ryan, Graham, but how is Yaz still alive?
Yeah, she should.
Hell, how is the Doctor not regenerated by now, being the idiot that she is?
Yep. Yeah, she should have regenerated in the first episode when she fell out the TARDIS.
Yeah.
She fell out of we should have known then. She fell out of the TARDIS and crashed into a bloody train. And
you thought that was just them being cute. No, that's what she's like.
It's unfortunate because, as I said, we will never truly get to know what Jodie Whittaker would have been like if she had done her research, if she had a decent writer behind her and showrunner behind her.
Yeah. But I don't know. If she did her research, it'd have been much better.
I'd still think we'd be looking at an actress out of her league, though.
Mm-hmm. Okay, wait. Let me ask Bolstrick something because I've asked the rest of the panel and no one seems to have seen it. But Bolstrick, I'll ask you: have you seen the footage of? And now somebody had recommended this before Jodie Whittaker was even took on the role, and this is supposed to be an example of her acting ability, her great acting ability. It was her role in. It wasn't even a role. It was just she was involved in a play with Christopher Eccleston in Antigone on stage. Did you see that?
No, I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
Okay, by God, somebody needs to watch this. So I'm
not the only one who... I'll watch it tonight.
Somebody needs to see this because when I reference this, I'm telling you, this is Jodie Whittaker at, I think, what she considers and other people consider her finest.
Do me a favor. Find it for me and send me the link, and I'll watch it tonight. And if you're still awake, I'll text you while I'm watching it. And I'll let you know what I think.
Yeah, because I can tell you right now, even with good direction, this is my point. Even with good direction, even with good writing, you put her on stage with somebody who is like Christopher Eccleston, who actually is an accomplished actor. She becomes like the she's the Robin to Batman. She is the, you know, she's it's
not
like
even that good.
I mean, it's like Weird Al to Robert Plant. It's just some bizarre.
It's not bad, is it?
Well, okay, maybe it's not that bad, but I mean, it is.
Oh, it's bad.
But it is. But look, she just can't compare. So I'm just saying,
she
people
was trained in drama school, though, and
yeah, I don't care. She could have been trained. She could have been trained
I know
by
a lot of people that are trained in drama school that can't act.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I suppose.
I mean, Nick Jonas is probably trained in drama school, and he can't act
grief!
either.
But okay, she's trained in drama school. What awards has she won? Seriously, and not that means anything necessarily, but you look at the awards Capaldi's won. You look at the awards of accomplished actors; they've actually won awards. I think she won like one. Literally, she's won one.
She won one. Yeah, right.
And she's been, and all of the fans say, well, she was nominated. Well, nominations are nominations. She didn't win.
She didn't win them.
No,
and if you can't win in 2019, 2020 being her, that says a lot.
That's saying something.
And not only that, Peter Capaldi should have been nominated a lot more and should have won a lot more.
Yeah, he actually didn't.
Yeah,
I think Matt Smith won.
Yeah, he
for
won a
Doctor
BAFTA.
Who.
Yeah, he won a BAFTA for Doctor Who. I think Matt Smith did. Yeah, that was the year, the great success actually, because they cleared up actually nearly in every award ceremony. And if you actually look at the award season for Series 11, it actually only won Mickey Mouse awards. Actually, this is the next question I want to ask is, do you think they will actually, BBC or Chibnall will put any of these episodes forward? And which ones do you think he'll put forward for awards? And do you think they'll put Jodie Whittaker forward as Best Actress this time round?
Probably.
I think
they probably will.
Serious question. I know Jason's laughing. I agree. I can't keep a straight face.
Yeah, no, I think they will because they're that delusional.
Yeah.
It'll be Praxis and Orphan 55.
I think we'll get the credit.
I think you're right. It'll be Orphan 55 or Praxis.
Anything that's got like a major like PSA in it.
Right. Yes, you're right.
Because it's like the Rosa thing.
Yeah. Actually, a lot of people are agreeing with you there. Original Doc Praxius. Yeah, could be. You might win a Golden Tomato again. You know? What was that award they won in Canada, Ballstreck? Your country unfortunately gave it an award.
We gave it a Rocky, but it's Canada, so enough said.
Yeah. And she won some other stupid award as well. So they didn't win out enough substance. So I mean, I don't see any of these. I don't think any of these are good enough to be even put forward, but they will because they're ego.
Yeah, I mean,
but yeah, maybe the ones with the big messages.
If there's a PSA in it, it's going to be like on. They're going to want to like showcase those.
Has anybody actually looked at the AI for these episodes? The audience.
They're in the toilet. It's the worst ever.
Yeah, I'm because they don't publicize. They don't publicize.
No,
but the show rarely ever got under 80%. Like rare. I'm just looking at it right here. Orphan 55, 77. I believe that's tied for worst. Nikolai Tesla got 79, and Praxius and Can You Hear Me both got 78. Those are pathetic.
Wow.
Yeah, they're very bad.
That is just.
Before this, and the average AI was 83.
Yeah.
Normally over 85. You would have about 4 or 5 episodes a season that are above 85.
Right, we're talking about ratings, so let's have these our ratings actually for this episode, and we'll go with ladies first. So Blue Bonnet Hooligan, what would you rate this episode this week? And the usual options. So you've got your positive 10, 1 to 10. And
it's not going to be positive.
Right, go ahead.
Negative 10 all the way for everybody except Graham. And I think I'll give him a 3 because he did, he annoyed me a little bit because he's just like by proxy, but because he's with this, he can't help it. He's with this fam, so by proxy he gets a 3. So I'll just.
He's lucky for the 3.
Yeah,
but let me think. Overall, the episode gets a negative 8.5.
Oh my
not quite. Yeah, so negative 8.5. I'll give Graham. I kind of like Graham in this episode. Maybe I'll give him a 4.
Yeah, I didn't mind Graham in this episode either, but I'll give mine last. Jason, go ahead. You're right.
It was horrible. I'll give the episode a minus whatever. However far back,
just wasn't minus.
however far back the meter goes, that's what I'll give it.
Right, we'll give Graham a rating. We'll give the rest of them a rating. But what rating would you give Graham?
I'll give Graham a 5. He was he certainly. There were things about him that I thought was entertaining in this episode. So yeah, I give him a 5.
Interesting. Right, Ballstrike.
Well, for the episode, we're on a scale of 10, so I'm going to go for the gold here, minus 10 for the episode.
Right.
I will give Graham, I'll give him a 4. He's the only thing that's watchable at all in this series, and even he's not at the same level he was last year.
Yeah, true. His standard has actually dropped this year. I would actually agree with everybody on the panel. It does get a minus 10 for me, obviously the episode, but Graham is the only thing worth watching in this episode because there is some when he actually is running around looking for the toilet. That is
that's the best part of the whole episode.
So for that, yeah, he get a 5 for me. Right, I'll start off with Jodie Whittaker. Jodie Whittaker I thought was better than last week when she got something serious. Again, when she's given a lot of dialogue and it's serious, she seems to have something, but it's still not good enough. So for that, she's not going to get a minus rating off me this week, but she'll get a 1. So I'll be fair. She gets 1.
Wow, that's a first.
That's pretty generous.
It wasn't the worst thing in this episode. I think the supporting actors were really terrible. That scene at the start was just cringy, where they're talking about telling each other, tell us a story, having that whole dialogue, and then Baldstrick mentioned that went way over me. That dancing scene was just pure cringe. And I mean, when she had dialogue and when she was being serious and actually giving out to the fam, as she calls them, there was a couple of times where she was actually not bad. So for that reason, she just gets a 1. But I think that's the biggest fault of that.
Oh, I would give her that. That ego trip speech at the end was awful. Essentially, it's Whittaker saying how much she's on top of the mountain or whatever the hell she was saying. So yeah, her ego speech speaks to her personality. But I actually found her worse this week. I found her unending rambling dialogue even more annoying. It seems to get, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but it seems to get more annoying with each passing episode. I can't stand her. If I wasn't reviewing these, there's no way in hell that I would still be watching at this point, because I just cannot stand that actress. I can't stand that doctor. I can't stand her portrayal. I'm giving it a minus 10.
Okay.
It's painful to watch.
All right,
I would agree.
Fair enough. Jesus, I'm the only one that's being positive about her this week. I'm actually surprised at that. Jason hasn't given his
let me guess, a 9.
Oh yeah, at the least. No, but seriously, there's levels of bad. There's the level of, like, if you find a piece of bread in the dumpster and it's got a bunch of mold and garbage and crap all over it, that's a minus 10 right off the bat. You'd probably give it as far back, even a minus 100. Well, this is like, it's not in the dumpster, but it's still laying on the ground by the dumpster. It still stinks to the high heavens, but it's not as bad as like if you found it with the mold and the rats who've chewed on it. It's still really bad. So I'd give it a minus 10, but that's only because the other, the really bad performances only go to minus 10. I would give them a minus 1,000 to infinity if I could. This is a minus 10 for sure, absolutely. For me.
Okay. Jesus. I'm actually being the see. I can be positive, guys. Woo!
There's no point. Be honest.
No, dude, this is a train wreck, man.
No,
let's. I do this a lot, but let's.
I'm not saying she's great, but if you compare her to what we've got in the last couple of weeks, right, I'm not saying she's brilliant in this episode, but she had one scene where she actually, for a few seconds, was quite decent.
That's what we're down to. She had a few seconds.
I know,
Exactly. And then he had
everybody criticizes me for being negative all the time, so I just try to be
Hey,
positive.
look, look, why are you even worried about what they say? You're being negative. Well, look, just be honest. If you're being honest, who gives a crap? You're going to say, you know what I'm saying?
Honest, he still gets a -5 because the rest get -10.
No, it's being honest, and I think we can all agree that the best part of the series was actually Joe Martin as the Doctor. That was the only good performance.
And Sasha. No, let's not forget Sasha.
No, I don't think. Yeah, I'm in agreement with Noel. I think it was the Master. Joe Martin was okay, but the Master was the best part, really.
The Master, it was badly written, but he did pull it off well.
He did.
That scene where he exposed himself. That short little scene. It was lasted for what, maybe 5-10 minutes, something like that.
Yeah.
That short little segment. What really he kind of he earned his pay, but the rest of it, it's all right.
And if you listen to the dialogue in that screen, it's awful, but he did pull it off with what he was given to work with. So if you have a good actor, sometimes you can make crap look good. Well, Peter Capaldi did it for his entire final season.
Do you know why I love that scene though? Because Jodie Whittaker's face was just absolutely fucking priceless. It was just like shock and horror, and I was like, yeah, now choke her out. Well,
that's what I was doing that whole second episode. I'm like, okay, dude, how many chances did you have to end this?
Just finish her off, man. Get it done off with regeneration. Come on, it can happen.
I wanted to throw him off I wanted to throw off the tower. I was like, come on, just throw her off.
They did reference Logopolis, which I'm sure all the Jodie fans picked up on right away.
Right.
Yeah, but the difference was when Tom Baker fell off from the tower, he regenerated.
Yeah, that's what we were hoping for.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, so how did she fall from a TARDIS through space into a train and not regenerate?
Yeah,
that's not ask questions.
Well, apparently because she's in the last, she's in the first 15 hours or something.
So she's
keep in mind when the 10th Doctor had his hand cut off, that part of his body did regenerate. So one would think if they were trying to keep true to regenerative canon, she would have had regeneration energy as she fell through that train. So even that they couldn't keep consistent.
Right.
Do you think the Master's going to appear in one of the 2 episodes next week?
Yes, I think it'd be crazy if he doesn't.
I hope he kills them all, except Graham.
Well, we'll let Graham live.
Yeah.
Yeah, the last episode is called The Timeless Children. That's got to tie into Gallifrey and the Master and all and that bollocks.
Well, I think from a newspaper that I won't mention because, quite frankly, they are partly responsible for that young woman's death just recently.
Yeah.
But they did have it in an article on Doctor Who. No matter what you say about the newspaper as a whole, when it comes to the Doctor Who stuff, they're pretty spot on. But they reckon in their article that by the end of this cyber war, there's actually a photograph. You see Jodie Whittaker, she looks like she's lost everything. According to them, they don't think the 3 companions are actually going to survive these 2 episodes.
Yeah,
that rumor's been
So we get a choice. Maybe Graham can survive and the 3 of them can die.
Can you honestly see the 3 of them going on horse down and them setting her up with a new companion, though? Honestly,
no.
I think it's the end. I honestly do think this is the end of Whittaker's era. I'm sorry, but I know there's some people out there that highly doubt it. There's just something in me that tell me that
I wouldn't be surprised.
Wishful thinking.
Yeah, we could only hope, but then
wouldn't be surprised.
We can
understand everybody's skepticism, right? I can understand.
No, I think
I think it's incredible. We actually have a chance. I really do, because the ratings are not adding up, right? They're not, and I actually believe that these ratings are actually even being manipulated. I don't even think that I think these ratings are even lower than what we actually believe that they are, because BBC have done it in the past, so they could do it again, right? So I know for a fact they're not. They're being manipulated. They've very cleverly sandwiched this show between two popular shows on a Sunday night as well.
And it still loses ratings. It goes down.
Losing. Exactly. So look, and last week's episode did cause a huge backlash, and BBC have actually put up a post to say that they're actually inundated with so much complaints that it's going to take them at least 2 weeks to reply to people. So
I'm sure they didn't expect that.
No, they didn't.
No.
And the Ofcom is on their back as well. So right now, BBC are vulnerable. I'm just saying for the next 2 weeks now, we've got the finale coming up now. For the next 2 weeks now, right, you have watched, for the people that have watched now, and I will stress this because I don't want the people thinking that I'm asking people to email in that have never seen the show. But if you have been watching this series, and even last year, send in your emails to the BBC. Tell them why you don't like the show. Tell them why you think that it's going in the wrong direction or whatever your gripe is. But do it in a nice, respectful manner and, try to give, like I did as well, examples because that makes your point come across even better. So what I've been saying to people on Facebook for the last couple of weeks, and I've been secretly putting in my videos to email I don't know if people have been watching my slideshow videos, but in it I do have little, send the BBC an email. Continue to do that because you are making a difference. Now, I've been told, and Eddie Ascaro put it up on his channel tonight, apparently there is going to be an end of series review, and there's going to be talks because they're not happy. They're not happy. So Chris Chibnall will either have to come up. This is what I envision happen. Chris Chibnall will have to come up with the biggest bullshit speech of his life to save his job, in my opinion. Because right now the numbers don't add up. The audience is walking away. You can see it, and I guarantee you Monday we'll be all talking about the ratings dropping again. Right? It's not going to make a difference this episode. This episode was boring. Nothing happened. It was cringy. As we said, the highlight of this episode was Graham running around the house looking for a toilet.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah,
wouldn't it be ironic?
That's what we're down to.
Like, wouldn't it be ironic after the BBC has tried and succeeded to cancel Doctor Who a number of times, that Doctor Who gets so bad that it causes the BBC to lose their license fee?
I know.
It'll be Doctor Who that takes out the BBC rather than vice versa.
Where's Michael Grade when you need him?
Let me just say this, Noel, because I know you really truly believe that the BBC has to see all this and they have to, backtrack at some point because the ratings are so bad. I'm telling you right now, the BBC, just like a lot of these directors, the BBC is no different. They see these ratings as the result of an organized effort to undermine the show by trolls who are, they're collecting together. And I'm telling you, the BBC will never, these people truly believe they're putting out a quality product and they can't accept that they're going to find every reason to try to justify and legitimize these results.
Well, do you know what, Jason? There comes a time when fans say enough is enough, right? The fandom menace.
What are you going to do about it?
Well, we're going to keep doing
now.
What we're doing. We're going to keep doing what we're
and
doing
it
right now. We're going to keep
I think we wouldn't have got the Mandalorian if it wasn't for the Fandom Menace.
I can understand from your point of view. You think there is no point to this, and I do get your point of view.
I'm not saying that. I think there's a great point to it. I think it definitely encourages people to not watch the show. There's a lot of point to it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that you're under the impression that the BBC is going to have to listen. They're going to have to fire Chibnall. They're going to have to do these things because they can't deny that the ratings are absolutely reflecting a disinterest and a dissatisfaction with the show by the fans. But I'm telling you, the BBC, these people in charge, do not see it that way. They see it as, look, we're being sabotaged. We're being sabotaged at every turn. We're putting out a quality product, and the people that don't like this, we're being sabotaged by misogynists and racists. And I know deep down you think, well, that's not true. I'm telling you right now, if you read the interview from, like I said, Kathleen, what's her name? Kathleen
Kennedy?
Kathleen Bates. Who's the chick? Who directed Charlie's Angels?
Elizabeth Banks.
Yeah.
Elizabeth, you read the review with her. That show grossed $9 million. Okay, that is chicken feed if I've ever heard it. And you know what she said? She said, if this show doesn't make money, it just reinforces the stereotype that men don't go see
I know,
shows. Anything you can do to just dismiss the lack of interest. So I'm saying it's this is the way it is with the BBC. You've got to just recognize that at some point they're going to try to dismiss the ratings as a plot and an organized effort to undermine the show. I'm telling you, that's what's going to happen. And I wouldn't. My point is this: I agree with you. I think everyone should be vocal. Scream at the top of your lungs, because if enough people do it, hey, if no one does it, then of course the BBC is left
to think, yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, they're going to think it's a wild success.
Yeah, it's a success, exactly, and that's why I won't stop, because we know it's not a success, and it should be true. And I do get everything that you're saying.
They're demented.
Maybe I do think that BBC will see sense and they'll do something about it. Maybe I'm desperate right now, but do you know what? I don't care what the BBC think. They call me a troll all they want, right? If they actually watched and listened to everything that we actually have to say, they would understand that we're actually not, right? But you know, again, I do agree with everything you're saying. I just won't back down right now. I
don't blame you. I don't think anybody should be backing down.
I see an opportunity now. Right now, I see the BBC vulnerable for the first time in a long, long time. Since
I think it's a hard road. I think it's a very hard road because of what Jason is saying. I think that it's a harder road than it used to be. Because of that.
I know it's not easy. Maybe that's what you're probably trying to say. No, I don't want you thinking this is easy.
Well, I guess I'm just all I'm saying, Noel. All I'm saying is this: don't be surprised if next season Chibnall's still there and Whitaker's still there, and that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying people should give up and you should throw in the towel. Not at all. I'm just saying, hey, just don't be surprised if they decide we need to pursue this further because we need to win against these trolls. We need to show them we mean business.
Yep.
And then we'll just double down. Yeah, hold on. We'll just double down next year then. We'll just do what we do, but we'll do it on a wider scale. We'll just get more people to follow us.
And if that happens, then we just keep on doing what we're doing.
Exactly. And look at all the air channels, even the ones that have only started up. We're all grown. So we obviously have fandoms behind us. We obviously have the fans behind us. We just need to convince more people. Well, not even convince people. People could see this is bad, but we need to convince more people to start complaining, because the problem that we've had on this side of the fandom is that, yeah, we'll have little arguments with a J-bot or whatever, but we never really complained that much to the BBC. Whereas if we had have done it from the beginning, I think we'd be in a much better position than we're in right now. But I think the BBC, as I said, are more vulnerable now than they've ever been. So I think, you know, for the next couple of weeks at least anyway, let's, you know, and even after the show ends, that it doesn't end there. It doesn't mean that you stop sending in your complaints, because then that just defeats the whole purpose, you know. Yeah, I mean, some people will re-watch this again. I doubt I'll rewatch it again, but I don't know. You get some mad people that will try.
Well, I wanted to. I just wanted to ask real quick, Bolstrek, what do you think it would take to convince the BBC that, hey, look, we're barking up the wrong tree? What do you think it would take? I mean, I can ask Rabbi too. What do you guys think it would take to convince the BBC?
Well, I think ultimately this won't be resolved until the license fee is removed, and I think it's actually looking good. And the BBC is in a terrible position right now because it means Boris Johnson is seriously looking at removing the license fee. So this is terrible timing for them. But I don't think, as long as they're still getting those license fee dollars, they can convince themselves that this is a success. As soon as those license fee dollars dry up and they have to become a streaming service, or they have to support themselves on ad rev, which is what almost every other channel on the face of the earth has to.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, this is an expensive show. This is by far the most expensive show since 2005.
Well, it is. It was in Geneva this week.
Yeah. So they if they don't have those dollars coming in, they cannot justify this. And unfortunately, I don't see them fixing it. I would see them just canceling it outright and then maybe bringing it back in another 10 years, which has always been my stance. Is the only way.
How do you justify, say, for example, in the case of CBS, Picard? I mean, the ratings aren't horrible, but how in a case like that, we're dealing with a free market, and I think we can all agree Picard has not lived up to the hype.
It's well, it's and again, this is
Star Trek Discovery. Star Trek Discovery is another example. Third season, we're dealing with a load of shit.
Yeah. Well, the with CBS, their Kurtzman is costing them. Well, some of these episodes, the production is rumored to cost as upwards of $40 million. The CBS, in their instance, and they don't make their numbers public, but a lot of this is saving face. If they admitted how badly Star Trek is doing, they're done. The only like CBS All Access is screwed. The only thing that's going to save them is the fact that CBS and Paramount are now united again under Viacom. So CBS All Access is going to go away, and it's going to be they'll have Paramount's movie catalog behind them. But at this point, they're throwing, well, at this point, bad money after bad. But they're not going to admit that Star Trek is a failure because they can't admit that it's been a failure because they will be admitting that their streaming service has been a failure. But Alex Kurtzman is, to put it mildly, in deep shit right now. So they're CBS All Access is at a CBS All Access is running at a massive loss right now.
Yeah.
And I think
what's to keep the BBC from following in their footsteps if the license fee is revoked and they go down the path of a streaming service, for example?
Well, yeah, that is a good question. CBS.
Well, I didn't answer the question. What's to keep the BBC from doing what?
Well,
even if they're beholden to the private market, what's to keep them from doing this? They can, but only for a certain amount of time. Alex Kurtzman's days with CBS are done. Star Trek Picard, we know there's at least going to be another season. Every rumor that anybody has heard, this is going to be the final season of Star Trek Discovery. They're going to finish it after this. Lower Decks probably won't see any more than one season. The rumors right now are CBS Paramount want to turn the Star Trek franchise around, and they're in talks with people like Ronald D. Moore and Ira Bear to come in and run the show, and possibly they might bring both of them in to turn Star Trek around. So CBS right now is in a situation where they are trying to fix it.
Yes.
And the BBC is going to be forced into that situation as well.
Yeah, I hope so.
Maybe they can do 1-2 years of private market Jodie Whittaker Chibs type disaster, but it's not going to go beyond that.
Well, can
you imagine they put it behind a paywall?
Who would pay for it?
It's not going in. If they put this behind a paywall, it's going to be terrible.
Oh, it would fail miserably.
In terms of fixing Star Trek, though, I'll believe that when I see it.
Yeah, listen, we've been rumored that he's been done before.
It is wishful thinking. I'm still on the wishful side because but keep in mind CBS, they are independent. So because the Star Trek franchise right now is bleeding money, they can't even get any toy companies to create, like there's no external marketing. They're dead in the water. So if CBS continues like this with what they're pumping into these shows, it could feasibly bring the network down. And my theory, even though they would never admit it, the disaster that has been CBS All Access is why Sherry Redstone decided to remerge CBS and Paramount Pictures, because that's the only way of saving it at this point.
Right.
What was I going to say? So is there a possibility then that Picard Series 2 might be something completely different to Series 1, or has that already been, done under the same regime? Do you get me?
Kurtzman is not going to last the summer. I can tell you that right now. If my hope, and I think it's very likely, that Series 2 or Season 2 of Picard will have competent showrunners, because they have to save this or they're screwed. I don't know if you guys heard the rumor of Kurtzman punching a wall after hearing one of Doomcock's latest videos. I would say there's probably some truth to that. No, his job is on the line because he is right now losing CBS money, and it did not have to be that way. When Star Trek came back in 2017, it was a gold mine. They could have licensed something like Star Trek Continues, and it would have been a success.
Yeah, exactly. They could have bankrolled an Axanar, and they would have had incredible fan support, and people would have flown. Yeah, it's so stupid. Yeah, we were talking about it on the stream last night. They were just so stupid. It's like this, but again, this is normal corporate behavior. If you ever worked in a corporation, it's a bunch of incredibly talentless people with an immense amount of power that have no accountability. And so if you're vaguely competent, you will rise up in the corporate structure very, very quickly. But that's what the BBC is. That's what CBS is.
They strike me as the type that just throw spaghetti against the wall and see what, throw stuff against the wall and see what sticks.
And you can only do that for so long because it ain't sticking.
Exactly.
And it smells like shit.
Speaking of not sticking, I've got to go to bed.
Yeah, I got to head off too, guys.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, we might as well finish up for it because we've got a storm here on my internet. I don't know if you just have actually noticed, but my screen is being cutting out quite a lot tonight.
Yeah, I noticed that earlier.
Yeah, because my internet is actually being affected by this storm. We've been hit by 2 storms in a row now. It's bleeding ridiculous.
Yeah, I saw the weather report before Doctor Who. It was the only thing worse than Doctor Who.
Yeah. And I wouldn't even mind blaming global warming. But
shut up! No more!
But it's actually obvious because you could see the sky during the day. They're chemtrailing the sky to bits, man. And if you're telling me that that's not affecting the weather with all the other technology that you have, they're trying to convince us now. So they're hitting us with more storms now to frighten us into, because most of the population don't buy into the global warming business, climate change, because it was global warming.
We had a nice blizzard yesterday. I had fun digging my car out.
Jesus. Oh, how is the car? Yeah, because you had a bit of a
with the damage. Yeah, that'll be. Well, it's been 2 weeks, but because the weather is just up and down right now, so it's been 2 weeks. But the section that I scraped off is starting to rust, and the car's only 4 years old. I'm not going to be buying many fun things next month because my next paycheck this week is going to cover the $1,000 deductible, and then I'll get it fixed. So yeah, that was hit ice, whacked the side of my building with my 2016 Santa Fe, which I've only had for like 4 months. If it had been my previous 2 cars, which were both junk, I wouldn't have cared, but it just had to be this one.
Yeah, I don't even mind. Remember the day you got the car because you sent me a photo. It's actually a nice.
All-wheel drive for Canadian weather. This is the best car I've ever had.
And then he sends me a picture, and there's like, oh, holy shit.
Yep.
Yeah. Could never. What? Yeah. You telling me they're blaming that virus for the Birds of Prey box office fail? Is that what they've used?
Well, it wasn't even going to be shown in China.
Right. Listen. Right. Birds of Prey failed. Right, because they didn't treat the character with the respect. They didn't. Look, they changed the character. Look, and all the rhetoric that we got before the movie killed this movie. It's as simple as that, right? And if you're going to keep up with the campaign of your man hating and your man bashing, then men are not going to go and see your movie. Now, I don't know if you've actually seen this, but there was a few people, we'll call them trolls, right? Because they had to be either trolls or stupid. And the reason why I say stupid is because they were putting up these reviews. So this was one of the reviews, and they were against
the cut and paste one, yeah.
Yeah, the one where they were going, so I'm a mother, I brought me husband and me son to see Sonic the Hedgehog, but we had to walk out because of the homophobic slurs, right? But I brought them in to see Birds of Prey, and we had a fantastic time. Now, here was the thing, I thought, one is fine, but then as I was looking through, people were writing different women writing the same things. Well, they weren't women, they were trolls pretending to be women or whatever, or probably women, right? And they were just rewording the same tweet, right? And I was like, what the hell? Now, I've been talking to people that have actually finally seen Sonic the Hedgehog. It's already made 60 million this weekend, the box office. It's like it's doing brilliant. So all the tactics that they're using to try get people to go and see Harley Quinn's Birds of Prey, because haven't they changed the name now to that?
Well, the funny thing about Sonic as well is this is one of those rare instances where Hollywood actually listened to the fans, because you remember that original trailer with that terrifying thing they were calling Sonic. So, and Rotten Tomatoes, what is it, sitting at 63% right now? What is the audience score? Audience score is sitting at 95. That tells you what you need to know right there.
There you go. And sometimes the audience score, when it comes, look, Sonic the Hedgehog, I won't say where I got, but I watched the first few minutes of it, and the redesign and everything, spot on. Look, that's how you, and this is why this BBC article came out. By the way, Ballstrick, actually, I have your next video topic for you, because I know you like these sort of articles, actually. BBC, actually, I'll tweet it to you. BBC put up an article calling fans, saying that our fans, the headline, our fans self-entitled.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, they referenced the Sonic the Hedgehog movie, because obviously fans gave out, and then Hollywood then obviously did the right thing and actually redesigned and listened to fans. Now, if a lot more film studios actually did that and listened to the fans, you will see, look at Sonic the Hedgehog, it's a success, right? You look at all the hate that Joker got, it was a success. By the way, I finally watched that movie and it blew me away. Joaquin Phoenix deserves it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But all this talk for a second movie, I'm sorry, don't want one. It ended the way it ended, and that was a perfect ending for that movie. What I'd suggest that DC do is find another character, even a little known character.
Well, their next R-rated movie was Birds of Prey.
Right, well then there you go.
It was short-lived.
There.
Yeah.
Well then there you go. There you go.
But anyways, and before you go, Noel, did you
though can make Joker and then they make a pile of shit like this. Now I haven't seen the Harley Quinn movie. I will watch it because I won't go to the pictures and say I'll wait until I can actually watch it, if you know what I mean. But I will watch it just to see how bad or good it actually is and make an informed decision on it myself. But the trailers I have seen just don't fill me with any confidence whatsoever.
Yeah.
They've changed Harley Quinn's character. I'm sorry, they changed the main character, Harley Quinn. She was all right in Suicide Squad. If she didn't want to be sexualized in that playing that character, then she shouldn't have took it. Simple.
Maybe acting isn't for you. Maybe Hollywood screen acting isn't for you if you don't want to. If you're a beautiful woman who doesn't want to be sexualized,
exactly.
Maybe it's not for you.
You don't hear Jason Momoa. He wasn't given. They asked him to be topless in Aquaman.
Yeah,
he's not going to. Oh no, I need to cover up.
Harley Quinn is a sexualized character.
Exactly.
She's been sexualized since the comics.
But he's actually badass. And Margot Robbie, she played her well in Suicide Squad. But then all this rhetoric she started coming out. Will you just stop loving it?
It's what made the movie tank. It's absolutely what made it. Okay, chaps, I have to go to bed, so I'm going to sign off.
Yeah, I got to head off too, guys.
Right, no problem. Well, I'll say goodnight to my panel because I have another super chat to read out, and then I'll just. But listen, guys, thanks for coming on to the chat. I see Chris through use our channels up earlier. I'll get him to throw them up again. Listen, Rabbi, thank you for joining me.
Thank you very much for having me.
I'll see you next week.
All right, toodle pip.
It was good seeing you, Rabbi.
Nice to be seen.
Take care.
Have a good week, everyone.
Bonnet, Jason, thanks again as usual. I will see
you too, Noel.
Soon.
All righty.
We will do this again next week. It'll be glorious.
No problem. I will see you all again next week. This has been
all right. Good night, Noel. Good night, Bolstrick. You guys take it easy.
Good night, everyone.
And we've got a £5 super chat from Justin Doyle. Sorry, Justin, I didn't get to read it out straight away, but the panel gets a bit, we get a very chatty. Is Chibnall married to a GCSE history teacher, as it would explain where he's getting his stories from? I don't know. I do know he's married. I don't know if it's a teacher, but if it is, that would be that wouldn't be great, would it? If his husband is a teacher, or is Chris Chibnall married to? Oh no, wife, isn't it? I keep getting confused, you know. But yeah, but that doesn't come across good if his partner is a teacher. No, it doesn't. Right, listen, guys, I will be back tomorrow. Obviously, we'll have the ratings. It'll be interesting to see where they come in, and also we'll discuss that article that I was just speaking about at the end of this stream tomorrow in some detail as well. So I'll probably have 2 streams tomorrow, and then the main stream then later on tonight. So 3 streams tomorrow. Listen, guys, to everybody that sent in a super chat tonight, thank you very much. To all my moderators, Chris, Daniel, all you other guys unknown, thank you all for doing an excellent job tonight. We had a few trolls at the start of the night, but everything seemed to go well then. So thank you, guys. And for everybody in the chat, thank you as well for getting involved. Listen, you know, we'll see what happens. But as I said, keep those emails going in. Make genuine complaints now. You know, we don't want to be, as people have alluded in the panel, you know, we are going to be criticized and called trolls. But if you give, you know, as I said, write in these are emails and, you know, basically, you know, make some valid points, then they can't really come at you. So, you know, just keep doing what you're doing. You're making a difference. That's all I will say. Listen, guys, as you can hear, my voice is starting to get a bit hoarse. I'm going to go now. I will talk to you tomorrow. Have a good night. I will leave you with this as usual. Good night, guys.
You have all been watching the official Tardis Zone. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next time. Do not forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe for more Doctor Who content.